Hey, Carl.
Hey, Todd.
Deborah says you're working on a fancy app or something?
You know, hold on. Not really working on it yet. I just don't know which cloud service to go with.
Well, I've got a cousin on my Queens side that swears by DigitalOcean. Says they're easy to use, have straightforward pricing, and really focus on making developers happy.
DigitalOcean, huh? I'm gonna check them out.
What the hell?
Dude, how are you doing that?
I'm not. is actually expert bullet. Oh! The ropes! The ropes! Oh, and he had the match? Oh! Wait! He resigned when he could have won the piece! Now he can take the pawn G4. Oh, he's got the queen! He should take the
whole queen.
Oh, the D6 pawn is hanging. And now rook H7. Wow, that was brilliant!
You glance over at your opponent's clock and wait a minute. I just need to make moves that don't hang pieces.
Oh, he hung a piece? You are the ultimate jinx. Oh no! This is oh my gosh! Oh, how is he doing this? Welcome back to the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. This is the first day of March Madness and the final day of the BCC. I'm Grandmaster Robert Hess. Alongside me, as always, my partner, Grandmaster Amon Hamilton. Amon, I was going to come up with something clever to call you, and I couldn't come up with anything, so I just introduced you because you are who we thought you were.
And by the end of this show, we will confirm whether or not Grandmaster Amon Hamilton is in the building. But for the moment, we think he is. And I'm excited to be here, Robert. It's been a long journey to get to the final stages of this Bullet Chess Championship, but ultimately we get to learn what everyone's been wondering the entire competition. Who is this year's Bullet Chess champion? And today we get to find out.
Well, there are only 4 players remaining, and it is a double elimination format. So Hikaru Nakamura, the only player who has yet to lose a match, but there are 3 competitors who are trying to make their way towards the winner's final, try to face him as they regain their footing after losing a match. So we have Daniel Naroditsky against Min Lei to start off the show. Both players won their matches yesterday, Amon, and these two are as experienced as they come on chess.com.
Yeah, you said it best. I mean, these are names that are very, very familiar, obviously, as streamers, especially as bullet players and regular competitors in these competitions. So starting off the day with Naroditsky and Min Lei, the winner of that, moving on to face Tang. And ultimately, one of these very strong players today is going to be going home, Robert.
Yeah, it's tough to see that, and there's a lot of prize money at stake, but they've already won quite a lot. So even if they get eliminated, I think they'll be okay counting their dollar bills because the prizes are huge here at the Bullet Chess Championship, and first place maybe 20 grand, but even if Danya or Min, they lose their first match, still get a cool 8 grand.
Yeah, $8,000 for 4th place, which already tells you, this has been a long competition as well. So you might be like, oh, 8,000 for a bullet match, no problem, count me in. But these players have worked hard just to get here and are going to have to work even harder for that $20,000 as, of course, waiting up there in the winner's bracket is Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. He's got 2 lives left in this double elimination format. He's sort of waiting for the next challenger as he's already beaten 2 of the players that are in the loser's bracket at the moment.
That's right. And in this field, the double elimination, the players who are coming from the loser's bracket, they need, if it's going to be Danya or Min, they need to win 4 matches. They need to win the first one against each other. Then they need to beat Andrew Tang. Then they need to beat Hikaru Nakamura. Not just one time. They had to beat him for a full hour. So good luck to the participants if they're going to beat the final boss. But he is the final boss. So if they get there, that's an accomplishment in and of itself.
It really is, honestly. A few players have had a crack at him so far. Danya, Tang, the matches went really similarly, but honestly, Tang had the best shot that we've seen so far. And the other interesting thing that may happen, all depends, is we could actually be watching Daniel Naroditsky play bullet chess for 4 hours today, depending on how the results go. I think he's the only guy that could, literally play every single match along with Min. So look for the winner of Naroditsky and Min Lei to potentially go all the way. And hey, I wonder if you play better or worse bullet after 4 hours. You could say, hey, you're warmed up.
You're definitely warmed up, but then your head is feeling a bit loopy because you can barely see. Your eyes are glazed over. That's what happens when you play bullet for that long. But we'll see how the players are feeling because the matches are going to start in just a few minutes. Mon and I are going to take a quick break. When we return, it's Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky taking on International Master Min Lei in the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. It's just about showtime here at the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. We are starting our day with Daniel Naroditsky against Min Lei. It's going to be an absolutely epic matchup. And Aman, as we look at their insights, anything stand out to you between these two players?
Well, hello to the most active players on chess.com Bullet. That's all I got to say. Clearly, I don't think there's anyone who could debate the experience of these two players right here. They've played so many games in general and against one another. And when it comes to these two players, I think the one thing that stands out to me in terms of something to look out for and a big difference in terms of style is definitely the speed starting out. Danya is so quick out of the gate. I think, even with Hikaru, sometimes Danya is still faster than him at the start. I think he's just one of the quickest players to begin a bullet game. He hits you with so much immediate speed. You start second guessing your moves. Like, wait, whoa, is that a mistake? He's responding instantly. And Min Lei at times comes out of the gate very slowly. So Danya could open up early time edges and look to use that against him in this match. So I would be looking out in the early stages, Robert, for any time edge that Danya might be able to amass.
It's a really, really good point because we've seen Danya, he almost like changed his
I think
game
so.
plan. And he was
Hopefully.
jumping out to early lead on the clock after early lead on the clock against Jose Martinez. And so Danya, it seems like he's found his form in that match. He'll continue it. The only player that was in his way was Hikaru Nakamura. And for Min, he needs to play quicker at the start. I completely agree with you because he plays these systems, the London system. He should be very familiar, so he can't afford a few second deficit. And a reminder to everybody to vote in the chat right now. Let's hear your thoughts about who you think is going to win between these two, Min or Danya. But Aman, right now, we're already start of game one. And speaking of system, we have Scandi.
Yep. And, this is great stuff for Bullet. It's really easy to get those moves in, pre-moves in as well. And honestly, pretty equal so far. Nothing really between the players at the moment.
Yes. Well, the start of this game, nothing special, only one open file. And currently White controls it. So it should be easier to play for White, except Rookie 8 just appear on the board. And yeah, this isn't looking like much. If this were classical chess, I think we'd see a handshake in 3 moves.
100%. Yeah, they wouldn't even bother playing it out. I'll point out that the one thing that Black has going for them is they agree to a draw. One thing Black has going for them is the fact they're going to agree to a draw. It's great to draw with the Black pieces.
Oh, you called it, Aman. I'm glad you pointed that out. But what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I like the pawn structure for Black. Light square pawns, dark square bishop. I would have kept playing that.
Okay, well, you heard it from Aman first. I'm with you there, partner. And right now we see a bishop pair for Danya, and now it's a full bishop pair. It's two bishops against 2 knights. This opening could not have gone any better for Danya.
Absolutely. I mean, in terms of a system, you think of these London-style systems. Hey, where's that London bishop? Isn't that supposed to be the whole point of it?
But Danya, and look at that, rook D to E8, very important move. There's a tactic with knight takes E7, the other rook move there. So Good recognition by Danya, but bad position at the moment.
And knight F6, I mean, this is suddenly a very double-edged position because there's pawns on C5, H6 hanging, and look for Min to maybe even consider a move like knight G5.
Wow, big decision there by Min to bring the rook up and take the pawn. So now it's even material. Knight D7 was there. Queen C5 is hanging over here. He goes knight G4 in the other direction, and okay, queen's coming to E7 if the queen went to E7.
Rook E7.
Yeah, this is really bad news for Danya. He is down on the clock as well.
Yep, knight H6. So he's going to keep that knight on the board. That's how you get the pawn without losing a piece there. Well done.
And knight F7, you can pick up G5 next, and that's 2 extra pawns if you want to. But look at Danya. He's getting his bishop out at long last, and this will not be an easy conversion for Min.
No, he's going to try to play bishop D3 to F1, I think. No, it goes back.
Bishop B5. That's a very funny move. And he gets the bishop over there. So he used your idea. But look at the king for Min.
Yep, this is a mating hand. 96.
Rook E7. It's mate.
That is a great pattern to know, by the way. Like, especially in Bullet, you see these grandmasters access those. I say these grandmasters. I'm talking about Min Lei, but that's because he's so strong that I get confused sometimes. But you really do see these players access those patterns when they need them most. Like he did that in half a second.
And what is Danya doing? I mean, it's too early to tilt, but this opening has gone really wrong for him. Queen D4 check, as you're pointing out, was going to win that bishop on C4. And now it's just an extra pawn. Oh, it's not an extra pawn. I thought it was an extra pawn for Black. It's just a much safer king.
Yeah, it's just such a good position. That's what it is.
Although Danya,
F5 can't be played.
yeah,
Excuse
he
me.
sort of neutralized most of Black's advantage.
Yeah, the move F5 looks quite frightening, though.
There it comes. And King H8 played with the clear intention of playing F5. And the king on G2, it's not a safe king, but it's a bit safer than it was on F1.
Right. And important after F5, there was no queen takes queen. So although Daniel wanted to get the queens off, there wasn't intermezzo there, taking the knight with check.
That's right. But now Danya's rook is on the 7th rank. He gives up the E4 knight. He could lose a pawn there, but he's just going after the 7th rank of the activity. And look at the clock. Min, oh my gosh, rook F5. He couldn't take it because of the pin on the E4 knight.
Oh, but he decides to go for this. Interesting. And I wonder if this is really going to be a draw because both of these guys are so fast.
Yeah. I mean, Min is better with the black pieces here. Right? Only he can play for win on the board, but who's going to play for win on the clock? It also seems like it's Min right now.
Yeah,
here it comes.
It feels like Danya's the one that kept the game going, but only Min should be able to win this.
But Min, A5 for white. A5 is a very important move. Oh, I thought he was going to play A5 and put his bishop on A4 and just hold his pawns together, but he's able to stabilize anyway.
I think they agreed to a draw here, honestly.
I think we're going to get 50 moves.
I don't know if Danya really wants to try to play this out. I'm a little surprised, honestly.
Well, look at the clock. So he get a repetition, but Danya was a little bit ahead on time there.
Yeah, when you're dealing with 11 seconds, you do the quick math and hang on a sec. We don't have time to do math. We got pieces hanging here. That's a tilt move. You don't pre-move that in the opening, and he gets punished for it.
Right. And wow, that was a wild game, and now it's 2-1 in Min's favor. And what's going on here? Danya's up a piece. Just up a piece.
Just a clear piece. I mean, you never really want to be pre-moving things like bishop g5, bishop b5, because you just never know when your opponent's going to throw in a6 or h6. Those aren't bad moves. Often they're sometimes part of the opening.
Yeah. And I mean, right here, it is just a clean win for Danya, especially for the move b5. I think you can just take the bishop. There's no perpetual check. The knight can simply retreat, and that is 2 extra pieces for Danya.
Fairly resignable, but maybe he'll keep playing here.
Yep. And I mean, I guess for Min, one of the big questions is, do you want fewer games or more games? Because he could have just resigned. He knew he was lost. But we talked about this in some of the matches yesterday. Some players, they think that the fewer games in the match, the better shot they have.
Yep. It depends what the feeling and the strat is going into the game.
Mm-hmm. And all right, here we see queen on b3 attacking the b7 pawn. I like this opening from Danya's perspective. He's just trying to take over some of the weakened squares in Black's position.
Yeah, an f3 g4 by white is pretty natural, and white might not even castle.
Okay, you're right. Here comes the next rook to c1, and Danya up a good 5-6 seconds.
Yep, and that's pretty meaningful. King g2 to stop knight h3, by the way, and Danya's going to get, queen b5, b3 to solidify if necessary. He's just dominant here. Let knight on b8. Hasn't even moved yet.
And look at it. It's what? Plus, well, now there's a knight that's probably going to be lost on b8, but it's plus 1 million, and Black's not down a single piece.
The knight is completely stuck.
Oh, and he let it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have taken that pawn. Not worth it.
No, that knight on b4 is... Okay, I was it's happily placed there, but then down goes the a5 pawn, and now it's in trouble.
So I thought actually Black was going to go queen h5 and maybe there's queen h4 and f5, just trying to get something going because this surely has to be dying.
Some chances for Black just because of White's king, but look at the clock, Amon. It's just so much extra time. And queen h2 check.
Threats? Yeah, what are the threats though?
And Danya, can you go king c3 and hit the f5 pawn? Wow.
Got to go king b2.
Somehow this is better for Black all of a sudden. I mean, the king is on d3 after all.
Yep. Watch out for a king discovered check at some point.
So queen c2. Queen c2 and the king b2. Okay, obviously not king b2. King goes the other way. F5
Rook
is hanging.
g6.
Queen f5.
Queen f5 though.
That's clutch.
Yeah.
And he's looking to win on the clock right now. Rook g2 is a huge move. Trading off pieces. Trade everything.
GG.
And there goes the a pawn.
And he even brings the king over just to cover that. Wow. So what do we have here? It's a 3-2 match, but clearly, just neck and neck so far.
Yeah, and I think Min would like to take that game back from 2 games ago, where he just, wasn't eyeing the early tactics from Danya and just the quick pre-moves. So now Danya's out to a lead. We'll see if Min can recover. You cannot tilt this early in the match.
Yeah, because one thing that the move h6 did, if you remember it when he won that piece a few games ago, is it kind of like keeps your opponent in check. So from now on, Min is not going to pre-move bishop g5, which is just slowing him down that little bit in the opening, and Danya no longer has to waste any time with h6. So it's kind of a little bit of a mind game as well.
And it seems like Min, he's going to be using his knights a lot in this match, because we saw 2 bishops against 2 knights earlier. We see Danya with the bishop against and knight against a pair of knights. And I like the way that Danya's been handling these openings.
Yeah, this has been working out well for him. He doesn't look like he's too crazy ambitious with the black pieces. He's just looking to take what he can get.
Ken goes h4. He's starting to get ambitious, but as you said, not crazy ambitious, just smart forward moves. Yeah. That king on f3 in line with the rook.
Yeah, you can't take that pawn. There would be knight d7 check, as there still is.
And now Danya's simply up a pawn and probably about to win a second.
Ooh, how do you not go knight d4 there?
Yeah, very bizarre decision. Knight c6 check.
Yeah, this looks like just comfortable for Danya. Like the pawns are defended. Oh, and then there was even knight takes e2 to consider. Yeah,
he could have taken that and said he wanted to keep more pieces on the board. And look at the lead on the clock, Aman. Yeah. Even if Danya were not objectively winning over the board, which he is, he would just win on time.
Yep. So 4-2, and we'll have to see what Min can bring to the table in terms of improving things here. Because honestly, you take that kind of unfortunate game he played where he pre-moved, and this is a lot closer. So that game is actually kind of the difference at the moment.
It's true. And that was starting Danya's winning streak. So it's one of those decisions you wish you could take back. You can't, unfortunately. And for Min, he needs to get a win here. I mean, we're 19 minutes and change remaining in this match clock. And look at this position. I mean, he has just a great position right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a pawn down. He's looking to try to get some bishop c7 in there, but Min is wise to that. a4, and let's see what he can do here.
Rook d2, rook a2 is always possible, but then there's bishop c7.
Yeah, he's got chances here.
I'm surprised that the evaluation is so high for black. It's just one pawn.
Yeah, it's one pawn. And let's say the rooks get traded. I'm not even sure it's winning.
And avoiding the bishop trade, but that bishop on d4 now is an absolute beast.
Mm-hmm.
e5. Just push the pawns forward.
Yeah, everybody's coming in for the party.
Is the bishop trapped? It's almost trapped in enemy territory. King f5.
It's a beautiful game by Min right now. And that rook on a2 has been saddled there because rook b2 is always winning the f-pawn. Can never allow it.
And g takes f2, even if king g2 will win the game. Oh, look at that move by Danya. Bishop c5.
Yeah, because if you pre-move rook takes f2 there.
Look at that stalemate. That was awesome. Just to even see that was a stalemate idea.
Even think of it, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, to even think of something like that just shows how many traps a strong player can set for you, even when you're totally winning.
That was really unbelievable by Danya, but a great game by Min. Maybe one of the best games start to finish in the entire match thus far.
Yeah, really clean. You definitely want to see more of those. If you're Min, it's pretty rare in Bullet to just play like a perfectly clean game, start to finish, get the win. Time is never an issue. Like those are always the unicorns of the Bullet world.
And you know what we've been seeing a lot today, Amon, is this kind of pawn structure where black has an extra pawn in the center on king side and white has the extra pawn on the queen side. So we're going to get a ton of interesting pawn structures throughout the match, but this has been of note.
Yep, and this pawn on b7 is actually still the best one to have on the queen side. It's the hardest for white to make a pass pawn, and there won't be a pass pawn until you get all the way up the board. So still very good chances for black in this endgame. 2 connected pass pawns, all you can ask for.
I think black actually is about to take charge because the rook on b6 got sort of locked in there, and a6 is a huge threat that white has to undermine the defense of the bishop, which is pinned. But look at those e5 and f4 pawns.
Yep. And a6, you called it. I mean, there's a7. There's even pawn takes in some lines.
Okay, so a7 is a really committal decision because rook e8, rook a8, and the next two moves for black. And
Right.
I don't know how easy it is to defend that pawn without bringing your. Actually, how do you defend the pawn?
You do not.
Uh-oh. And taking on c6, but you can never go a7.
But hang on now. What?
Oh.
But white's doing well with just b5. I don't know how black makes progress.
No, black loses. What a turn of events there, where all of a sudden Danya had the better position after losing a pawn early, and Min strikes again. It's 4-4.
It's so smart to just give up the rook for the bishop because those pawns were starting to get scary, Robert. They were like just motoring down the board. He says, no, I'm going to use my king and bishop to blockade. So resourceful in a bullet game.
That was really smart, just stopping the pawn progress. And Donnie had spent a lot of time in the earlier stages of the game, which meant that Min would have more time to calculate some of the complications. Right now, this looks good for Min once more from the black side. I mean, he has the extra pawn towards the center, and white has this problem where black's about to create an outside pass pawn.
And you speak it into existence there. A4 and two bishops are like literally the best combo to escort an outside pass pawn to the end.
And watch out for queen g3. But the queen g3, the bishop goes back to g2, so the rook.
Wow. What a
Queen
try.
The queen f3 defends it all.
Yeah, bishop d3, like I think there was even I was thinking about rook a8, but there was queen e8 there.
Wow.
Yeah, so that sometimes players make moves and you're like, what? I don't understand that at all. It's because they've seen a tactic that you didn't even consider or something like that.
I frankly did not consider that at all. And if I'm Min, do you really want to play this game on? You're down a rook and a pawn. And Dinah's also up 10 seconds. And knight f6 is everything.
There's another thing.
And it's also break time. So I would just resign.
Right.
He doesn't know it's break time, I guess.
Yeah, or it's in the school of thought once again, like, hey, I want to take more time off the clock. You never know what the strats are.
That's right. We've been talking about it. If Min doesn't want to play as many games, then this is a very good strategy just to make sure that the time ticks off the clock.
Oh. Got to be really careful of stalemates here with the two rooks and pawns, but not to be in 5-4. Jeez, I mean, this match, Robert, has been lightning quick for me. Like, we got to that 5-4 score, and I barely feel like we got started here, but that was actually half of the match already.
Yeah, no, I'm just settling into my chair, and this match is over halfway done. We've had 9 games in the book, so the players are playing at a blistering pace. And Aman Danya just jumped out to a 5-4 lead. Min had the early lead in this match, but now Danya has found his footing. It's still very close, neck and neck. We'll see who can come out on top when we return here at the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Todd.
Deborah says you're working on a fancy app or something.
Hold on. Not really working on it yet. I just don't know which cloud service to go with.
Well, I've got a cousin on my queen side that swears by DigitalOcean. Says they're easy to use, have straightforward pricing, and really focus on making developers happy.
DigitalOcean, huh? I'm gonna check them out.
What the hell? Dude, how are you doing that? I'm not.
We're back here in the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. It is Daniel Naroditsky taking on Min Lei. It is 5-4 Naroditsky, and the winner of this match will play Andrew Tang in the next one. So Aman, 5-4 Danya. He was facing a deficit. Now he's in the lead. What do you like from him, and what do you like from Min?
Well, one thing I have to say about pretty much all the bullet matches, Robert, is I've noticed a similarity. Is like often in the first half of the match, it is really, really tight. The second half of the match is where one player pulls away, or maybe it's a neck-and-neck match the whole way, but one player often makes a big push in the second half. So we'll see if that's going to be Danya here, because he is, let's say, the pre-match favorite, but I got to give a lot of credit to Min. I think he's been playing tremendously. He might be playing a little bit better than Danya right now. He's had that unfortunate slip where sort of pre-move issue where he lost that piece, basically lost the game for free. So I have this match dead even, and I think Min is actually playing the better chess right now.
Okay, I can't really contest that. I really believe that Min is playing an excellent match, and in this game, h6 was played, the bishop went back to h4, so he didn't fall for the same trick twice, and this position looks amazing for Min. His rook is already lifted to e3. It's going to go to f3 later, especially after move knight e5. Knight d7 at some point could be a threat if you're not looking out for it, and yeah, this is just really bad news for Black.
This is crushing. You can even consider things like, rook takes f4 probably. But I have a feeling that in a position like this, white can be ultra aggressive. Moves like h4 here. I want to play h4, loosen up the position, and I think there could be some real serious knockout blows incoming.
And rook g3 just going right after the point. King h6, there's no way can hold on, right? I want to move.
And yeah, just like sack the whole house.
Yeah, you can take on g5, play rook e5. That actually looks really strong. And g4, knight takes g4. Just take it. Here it comes.
Here comes e5.
Rook g6, rook g6 check.
And then
rook c6. You win the queen.
Yeah, simple.
This is just
busy
too
looking
much.
for mate when everything's winning there. Love that simplification as well.
Just could have taken the rook and then taken the knight, but instead goes this way. Just don't fall for knight fork. This mate.
Yeah, that'll do it. Tremendous game to come out of the break, right, Robert? I mean, that's exactly how you want to set the tone for the second half of this match. But start to finish, that was just a really one-sided game from Min Lei.
I agree with you. Min is playing better. And it's just the fact of the matter is Min is playing better chess on the board, but he also is down on the clock in some of these games. So he needs to be careful about the speed. And that's what you give up sometimes. There's a healthy balance that you need to find between speed and precision. And whoa, rook takes c5. What's take on g7?
If you want g7 here?
He takes on c5, but I think he wanted to, but then he was nervous about it.
Yeah, because there's also like some crazy rook c1 or rook sack just to open up the queen. So better safe than sorry.
But Min's better right now. He just stole an outside pawn. Bishop c4, you can just retreat the bishop there to protect the a6 pawn. And e2 is hanging with check, by the way.
And remember, if you take, there's rook c8 to stop checkmate. So a6 was not able to be captured there.
That's right. And okay, extra pawn for Black, but it's not going anywhere just yet. Oh, knight d1 out of nowhere.
Yeah, using the opponent's side of the board against them.
Yeah, 2 extra pawns is too much, and here comes the f pawn to the party as well.
And Naroditsky is down on time as well in this particular game. I haven't been fully paying attention to like how it's been the entire match, but this is a great sign for Min because I have that as one of the big differences between the players. But if Min's winning on the board and he's consistently up on the clock, he's doing well.
King h1.
I mean, unbelievable.
There's checkmate next move, rook takes g3. Oof. There was no choice for that king, and it was mated. That is a lead for Min, 6-5. I mean, they're trading off leads.
Yeah, and this the first one for Min, though? I can't remember.
No, he started out the match with a lead.
He started out with a lead, yeah, 1-0, and I think 1.5. So it's been it's a good run, but what in the heck is happening here?
His lead looks, I was about to say looks short-lived, and then e5 was played, but why didn't he take with the bishop on e5?
Well, as you said, they're trading off wins here, so now's the time to flip it back. Rook takes f2.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Rook g2 check is possible just to save your rook.
That looks like a great, and just take the queen and take the rook.
We're saying the same thing here because if knight c7, it's check. You get it. All right, here you're going to win the material back, but you're down 2 pawns and your king is caught in the corner.
Nasty. Yeah, this has got to be really, really good for for black, I would say. Get the rook involved.
Ooh, h4. He's very fortunate. He didn't see
true.
rook f3, but he has. What?
He totally missed h4?
Oh my gosh, Danya is just not seeing tactics that are available
That are
to him.
there.
Yeah, that
No
is
other way to
really
say it.
surprising.
Uncharacteristic for a guy like Danya as well.
He's way too strong to miss just a simple h4.
However, let's see what he can do here. He still has 3 pawns for the piece, and there's opposite bishops, so that's why he's okay with maybe going for a trade there. We'll see if it pays off. He wants to get rid of these pawns, Robert.
I think that trade really helped him, especially because he's down the clock. Now there's fewer things to worry about. You could pre-move more easily. In comes his king. Bishop g5 is possible, and he's just going after the last pawn.
Yeah, the pawns are going to disappear, so that's at least something for him. He knows he's probably not going to lose here.
Okay, and I don't know why Min didn't bring the bishop back to c4 earlier to protect his a2 pawn, because now Danya can easily make his pre-moves.
Yeah, and knight g4, this will just be a draw.
But that's a huge save there for Danya, because he was winning and then he just dropped a piece and he was in bad shape, but he survives that. He's only down 1 point.
Yeah, you look back on a match and you sort of count the points that you didn't deserve and stuff like that. That's one that Danya is really going to be happy about going forward. Imagine that goes the other way. A 2-point lead opens up and Danya would really be feeling it. So big for him as he has a great position right now with lots of extra space.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible for black. That pawn on b7 is bad. And well, you let it back in the game as soon as I called it a pawn. I'm a real bishop.
Yeah, no, he really had no business doing that.
Yeah, f5 was just premature. I mean, black could hardly move. He could have pushed all his kingside pawns first instead of allowing the bishop into the game. And really good decision by Min there to take on h6. A lot of people would say, no, I'm not shattering my pawn structure, but I think that was the right choice. But this knight on f4, trying to come to h5 into f6, or the queen also ventured right in.
Takes, though.
Ooh, trade in f5.
Yep.
Just trade in f5.
Still, black's going to sit there with bishop d7 and go rook a4 and have a lot of pressure himself.
Okay, so what's happening here? It looks like a locked up position. A queen trade will be pleasant for black, but there's no need when the queen's so active. Queen e1 check is a big threat.
Yeah, but we can take this pawn. Now the question is there anything better? Give bishop g2.
Okay. Queen g, there's no f5 because queen takes e5 is check, very important. Now there's an f5, but queen f4 check happens.
That's right.
Oh, can't get away with it.
I feel like white's trying to play for a win.
Well, they're about to repeat, so
wow.
I'm like nervous for them.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. These both of these players are just, as you said, trading blows. We're even seeing multiple draws in a row. That's how close this match is.
That's right. And queen h4, this is Danya's style. So even if it says white has a slight edge, sure, I believe that. But this is the type of position Danya tends to like as the black pieces.
And I agree, echoing some of the comments from the chat, which I also mentioned before. Like, this match, I think, is characterized by how fast Min is playing at the start. He's even on time or up on time against Danya, and he's playing the better chess. So it's no surprise that he's up.
He had e6 when the king was on g8. That would have been devastating. It's still bad for black, but it's not as forceful just yet.
But manageable, because now after knight c5, what? You take it?
Is queen c6 even?
Oh, goodness.
Gosh, you resigned. I think you just resigned.
There's nothing here.
You should resign and play the next game. There's still over 6 minutes remaining. And I mean, this is hopeless.
Oh, yeah. Rook takes d7 even.
Oh, rook d7 is a beautiful move. Knight d7, the same idea. Pin bishop.
This is rough.
What's the material count? Isn't white up a rook?
White's up a lot. Put it that way.
And they resigned.
When you just know it's a lot. You don't know what it is, but it's a lot. 8-6, Robert.
But Danya wasted about 25 seconds there by not resigning earlier. I think
unnecessary.
You need to keep an eye on the match clock. Danya down 2 points. He's not used to this. And Min is playing an excellent match, but this game already looks very shaky.
Yeah, he's playing an excellent match, but a poor game.
Yes. Oh, bishop c6. Oh, because it take the rook on b8 was hanging. The knight couldn't protect it. It was pinned.
Yep.
And Danya steals at least one pawn and goes after another.
Ooh. That looked like a very smart move because, yeah, you take the knight, you hit the bishop. So material up for white here.
Yes, it's an extra exchange. Bishop d4, bishop f6. Watch out for knight takes f3. It was e4.
Yeah, this looks a little rough.
Maybe knight e4. Anything is just white's up a clean exchange right now.
Yeah, knight e4 is a nice kind of move because let's say it gets captured. You're happy to see that. And what is this? Bishop c5.
Rook f. Oh, okay. I
Ooh.
thought you had to go rook f2 instead of king in the corner, but knight d5 does stop.
There was
the
also
queen's
king
check.
g2 and king h3, by the way. But
Wait, wasn't there a
this is
pawn on
also-
f3?
no, I mean after f2 check.
Wait, where'd Donna's pieces go?
Yeah, hang on a sec. We're talking about pawns, and meanwhile he's dropped rooks and pieces.
Oh gosh, rook g5 check. Okay, now he's got 2 pawns. He's winning this game.
There we go. Rook can always go to a3. I think White's got this now.
Yeah, a7 actually, rook a6, then rook a3 that's really nice.
Yep, because rook f8. Now you have rook b8. So leaving the rook on b3 was the more flexible option. Is it fair to say that that win came at the absolute best time for Danya? He needed that with under 4 minutes to play, Robert. We may only see 2 more games.
Yeah, no, he needed that for sure. And he can still draw this game. It's important to keep in mind because sometimes you feel like when you're down on the scoreboard, you have to win every single game. No, he can draw this game. He still has time for more.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. Bishop d5 and queen b5 look like very strong ideas. I think although black is up right now, bishop d5, bishop takes a7, there's so many pawns hanging that I think the bishops rule this position.
Yeah. No, this right now it's even material. It almost looks like white's up a pawn. And he goes bishop e5 because if you played d5, he would have lost an exchange. So bishop e5 was necessary.
It's almost bishop c6, but with f4, but the knight could take.
But the worst is behind Danya now.
Yep, for sure. For sure. I always like these positions for white just because you got the bishop pair, but g4 suddenly is some dark squares that start to look a little loose. But that's
it hung a piece. They both didn't see it. That could have ended the match.
It could have. And I think you saw the camera, Danya just afterwards saw it, and he knows he dodged a bullet there.
Well, there actually is still time for 2 more games, right? Because as long as there's 1 second remaining on the match clock, you can start the next game. So even had he lost this game, or even if he does lose, as long as he loses the next 40 seconds, he's okay. But actually, he's not losing this. He's going to win this. He's up a pawn.
Amazing. Yeah, he should win it. The pawns are on dark squares. He needs to get that knight to a square that it can attack, so it's coming to e6.
Oh, it goes knight to b5, just wins the pawn directly. Oh
Resignation,
my goodness.
Could be time for 2 more games, Robert.
Yes, that's huge for the players to keep in mind because if they are losing and getting out of hand, they can resign. They'll get another game. Even if it goes the distance and someone gets flagged, I see the match clock. We still have time for another game after this one.
That's right. Oh my goodness. This is so exciting. You guys are getting a treat to start off the day. And Naroditsky's had a similar position before. If we remember, it actually went really well for him as he kind of dismantled the queen side.
And what a move, bishop d6, spotted instantly by Min. The point was rook takes this, bishop takes e5, removes the guard of that rook. So very clever defense by Min. And the bishop on g2
it's
saying,
over. What?
The c pawn is just too strong.
What?
Is that it? C2 and queen in, and how is this stockfish NNUE? It's too strong. It's saying like minus a million when it's even material. Yes, black is obviously better, but that eval bar, that's wild.
No, I thought that he was hanging his bishop on g2. That's why I was like blown away that it was missed. But of course, hits the queen.
Yeah, but
and
even after
now, now all of a sudden we're in an endgame where honestly, definitely could make a draw here.
This looks like, by an objective standpoint, I need the Dvoretsky endgame manual. So somebody send me a copy.
Match clock, Robert. Pay attention to that match clock.
Oh gosh. And Min's winning on the board. So Danya, he doesn't need to resign because he will get 1 more game. But this is one of those moments where you probably could resign and just start that next game sooner.
I think he's going to have the privilege of playing the entire game out, which is kind of nice. King e3.
Oh, g4. He's not losing.
Uh-oh. Rook a3, and now you go this way.
Oh my goodness. What a save. And the good news, if you're Min, is you obviously know you're better, but you don't know how winning you were. He's also winning on the clock right now. Oh my gosh. And wait, this might be the last game.
Yeah,
so
it might be the last game.
Danya can't lose.
Decided.
Oh, trade rooks. We get 1 more. We get 1 more. Game. Oh my goodness.
This is for everything. Right here, guys are witnessing it. 8.5, 8.5. It doesn't get closer.
Oh my gosh. And that could have been the final game. And look at this. Danya blunders a tactic on F7. So his king has to sit on F8. And it's not the worst situation for black, but it doesn't look good.
Not the best. Castles.
Okay, but a queen trade
takes on F3.
Yeah, a queen trade makes Danya feel a lot better.
Oh my god, I can't believe you didn't trade the queens there.
How in the world do you not trade queens?
I don't sheer confidence. Like, it makes no sense because now bishop g5 is coming
but
in.
Knight d4 was a great move. If knight d6, knight f3 is check, and then you recapture the knight that goes to d6. So instead, Min moves the queen.
Bishop h6.
Bishop g7. You're still surviving. Oh, e4. Look at Danya. It's funny because he looks like he's about to get checkmated, and then he plays aggressively.
Yeah. Like he's the guy fighting here.
Okay, his e4 pawn is defending. Takes b2.
So e4 is hanging. But so is c7.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but he gets a queen trade, which means he'll have some chances to survive. But obviously, white is in the driver's seat of a couple pawns.
Oh, big time. And rook b5 is a massive move as well.
I love that move c5. He's just pushing that. Don't stop pushing.
Full chess, yeah. Look, he's got an escape square. There's no f4. There's nothing aggressive black can do. Naroditsky, it's looking like he's out right here.
Oh, but take on f4. Oh, rook g8. Oh my goodness.
Rook b3 is coming.
Oh, is that king mate and rook g4 is mate?
It's checkmate. Oh my god.
No way.
It's literally forced mate.
Oh my gosh. And poor Min.
I can't believe that.
I've never felt so devastated for somebody.
Even Danya, his mouth is wide open. He can't believe that's forced mate.
Oh my gosh.
I'm actually in shock, Robert. It's understandable that maybe it'd be like a draw or perpetual or, oh, you lost your advantage a little bit. But to go from probably a forced win to forced checkmate, unbelievable.
We have to show the moment again because bishop f4 is in line with every chess principle you've ever been taught. Trade pieces while ahead. You have two passed pawns on the queen side that are on the 6th and 7th ranks. So bishop f4, how could you not make that move? But unfortunately, after rook b1 check, the king can't slither towards the center. Oh my gosh.
I actually can't believe it because in this position, to think there's a forced checkmate on the board is ludicrous. White's got two passed pawns. He's about to make two queens.
You're one move away. There's rook b8 or king f1 to e2, anything. But rook b1 check, the king has to go up. Rook g8 check. The king has no choice because the pawn on e4. And then this is a forcing mate. Aman,
yeah,
I seriously have never seen something like this.
This is wild. My instincts would never expect myself to get checkmated. Like my radar wouldn't even be on that this was dangerous. So the idea is rook check and, the f3 move, the rook c3 move, they're all irrelevant, right? These just get in the way. But after king h4, rook g4, and every piece by black is perfect. And the white king from g1, Robert, gets checkmated by force on h5. I'm in shock. That's insane what we just saw.
I feel so terribly for Min, and this happens to any competitor where you're in the heat of the moment in this battle and you're about to win and victory is swept away from you. Just either your feet are taken out from underneath you. And honestly, Danya just stole a win from the jaws of defeat. So Danya moves on. We saw the jubilation from him. He gets to play Andrew Tang next, and there's no rest because that match is coming up next. Amana, I cannot get over it.
Yeah, that match is coming up. Danya is like, he's going to be on an adrenaline high, which could be a good or bad thing for his chess. Condolences to Min because, as I was saying pretty much the whole match, I think he was playing at a much faster pace than we've seen from him. I thought, in fairness, he was playing the better chess, and it just came down to one game. But hey, credit to Danya. He found this. He saw it. He may not have seen that it was exactly checkmate when he played the first check, but believe me, that clicked in a matter of seconds because his jaw dropped to the floor as he realized that he had just qualified himself to the next round of this Bullet Chess Championship.
That's right. And they say better lucky than good. I always say best lucky and good. And that's what Danya Naroditsky is. He's actually great. So he gets to move on. He'll face Andrew Tang. We saw how good Andrew was yesterday against Hikaru Nakamura. What a formidable foe. So we'll be right back for that matchup here at the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. You will not want to miss a single second.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Todd.
Deborah says you're working on a fancy app or something?
You know, hold on. Not really working on it yet. I just don't know which cloud service to go with.
Well, I've got a cousin on my Queens side that swears by DigitalOcean. Says they're easy to use, have straightforward pricing, and really focus on making developers happy.
DigitalOcean, huh? I'm gonna check them out.
What the hell? Dude, how are you doing that? I'm not.
The all-new Classroom is live on chess.com. Classroom offers the very best virtual class experience for coaches, schools, and students. You can connect with anyone at any time with native video and voice conferencing. Check out the best way to teach and learn at chess.com/classroom. Well, we just learned what Daniel Naroditsky is capable of. Aman, that was as thrilling of a match as we've probably ever seen. And now he faces a very, very tough opponent in Andrew Tang.
Yeah, can you imagine the adrenaline rush, like what you must be feeling as a player after, first of all, imagine being Min. I mean, it's just a terrible feeling. It's so deflating as a chess player. But being Danya as well, after this just happened, it's like, okay, great. Yeah, have 5 minutes, and then why don't you come back and play Andrew Tang for 30 more minutes and bullet? I mean, what a daunting task as Penguin GM1, as he's known by. He's such a strong opponent, and he's definitely getting more in form, in my opinion, as the tournament progresses.
Yeah, I mean, is this a reward or a penalty? Like, you just won your match, you secured yourself more of the prize fund, and now you don't even get time to rest and you have to face Andrew Tang. So it's going to be a great matchup. These two players have competed against one another so many times, Aman, and we're going to ask the chat to pick who they think is going to win, but I'm going to ask you, if you had to pick one of these two, who are you going with?
So I'll go with, so right now I actually think that Tang's in fantastic form. I think this match is going to be super, super close. I think Danya's probably not in the best form right now, it's fair to admit. I think he got outplayed on the board multiple times against Min, and his speed, whether, I don't know if Min was like just super fast today, or maybe Danya was a little slower than usual, but Tang is on form. However, I'm going to go with Naroditsky on this one because I actually think that weirdly in Bullet, it's one of those things where like these adrenaline rushes and like the more you play, I feel like you actually get more warmed up rather than more tired out. So I feel like that kind of insane sweat and crazy finish that he just had, it's actually going to fire him up for this next match.
Okay, I mean, he might be tired, he might be stressed out, but you could channel that into adrenaline as you're suggesting. And Andrew Tang, he played amazingly well against Hikaru. He was outplaying Hikaru in so many games over the board. And wait, this isn't done yet. I think Tang is warming up right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is an interesting match here. Danya weighed in a little lighter than I've seen him lately.
They're also playing Ultra Bullet. So I guess Tang, he's working on his speed right now, playing a little 30-second chess, just having a little fun here, getting ready for Danya.
Are we getting a new prediction, Mods? Penguin against one random? Let's see who the chat wants.
Yeah, can we get a vote on that, please? Who do we think is going to take this one? It looks like Penguin is in a great position now. He's up how many pawns? Queen D1 was mate, by the way, if the queen took on F5. So
yeah, nice little tactic there.
And he's also up 5 seconds. So let's see the mouse speed. That's what we need to find out from Tang.
Yeah. We're here for recon.
Oh, look at that move, Bishop D5. That was funny.
Yeah, I think the mouse is looking pretty good, Robert.
yeah, no, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. We've seen better from Tang, but as far as mouse speed goes, not bad at all. Wait, what's this? Knight H3? That's one of those hyper bullet things or whatever this is called, ultra bullet, hyper bullet.
Yeah.
I lose track of the names, but that way if someone takes your knight while you're trying to pre-move, you know it's been captured.
Yep, and it stops Bishop H3 tricks. Shout out to Min Lei, by the way, just rated the chess.com stream, bringing his people, supporters, fans. I know there's already a lot of those in here already, but bringing his people from his stream over here. So thank you. That's over 100 people, 112, obviously. You know, condolences. I think, Min, we were all super impressed by your play today, Robert. I think that was a match where you just have to feel for the guy. Sometimes that's just bullet chess, just the way it happens.
Yeah, no, we were saying at the end of the show, Min, obviously you were watching because you were playing, but it was a really tough moment and we really sympathize with you there. But what a performance you put in through this entire Bullet Chess Championship. So props to you, Min. We'd love to see you play and continue being the wholesome streamer and person we know you to be.
Yep. Not going to add anything to that because you said it very well.
And are they going to stop playing this? What is this Ultra Bullet? What is it Ultra? When is it Hyper?
This is Hyper Bullet. That's 30 seconds. Ultra Bullet's 15 seconds.
Got it. Okay. So Hyper Bullet, you know, I don't really play much Bullet, but
yeah, I'm up with the lingo, Robert.
Yeah, no, you're with the cool kids. I'm a boomer. You're a zoomer. Got it. But we are receiving word that in the poll results, Danya received a nice 69% of the chat's vote, thinking he'll beat Andrew Tang in their match.
Dang. And how about one random? Did he get in there?
I think somehow his username was left out, but
yeah, his balance got misplaced.
Also, this is down to the final seconds here. And wow. Mouse speed by Tang.
Yeah, I was about to say the speed from Tang there was impressive to earn that draw.
Well, it looks like Danya, he's sitting down. He was given a quick breather. He's getting ready to play this matchup, but let's remind everybody of other events on. Oh, I guess not. I thought we were going to talk about other events at chess.com.
Do we really need to remind?
No, I guess we don't. All right, fine. I was just going to say, Title Tuesday, every Tuesday, 2 of them, huge prize funds, but no, okay, we don't have to talk about it.
I mean, there's a huge prize fund here. Sometimes you got to live in the moment, Robert. And with $20,000 for first place, I'd say we got some pretty good dollary dues on the line.
Yep, and here we go. So we have our matchup set. It is Naroditsky, it is Tang, and is Danya already changing his opening decisions in this match?
Well, I think that's call it a benefit or not, but it's one of the things that you can do when you've already played a match that day. Like, he knows what was sort of working against Min, and remember, Andrew and Min, sort of similar players when it comes to the systems and the way they play.
That's right. And Andrew right now with the black pieces, what? Knight F7?
So
is there some Queen C4, Rook lift, F3 coming? He doesn't even take it. He was Bishop F6 first.
E5 has to be played.
And, he could have taken with the Knight on D8 because the Rook on E8 was loose there.
What is going on? Okay, so remember what I said about turning that adrenaline into fuel for the fire? I think the opposite has happened, because that was a very suspicious first game from Danya.
Yeah, that wasn't good. He was really too active there for his own good, but now let's see if he can settle in a little bit. Tang with a few second lead on the clock, and he did so well against the King's Indian when he played in the match against Hikaru.
Yeah, he really did. And this is just a position, system, type of position that he knows so well. How many games does he have in this? Probably thousands.
What just happened? All the pawns are capturing each other. Now his knight on G6 is in trouble. Okay, Queen H6 check happens, you have to be dead lost, right?
Right. I mean, King G8, and you're kind of like, you're there, but G7? Yes, Rook E8? Oh my goodness.
There's no checkmate. I'm looking like Queen H8 check with Bishop F3. That's a nice move.
That's simple and strong. None of Black's pieces can get over there. I think this should probably be enough. Even King H1.
He's going to win the Rook on E8? Oh, it's Rook G2 even better. Checkmate.
Nope. Yeah. Mate on the board. And quick 2-0 for Andrew Tang, as Naroditsky sort of needs to calm things down and find his footing, it looks like, in the early stages.
Yeah, that was one that you would want back if you're Naroditsky, but he just got outplayed, and he's been getting outplayed throughout most of the day. And right now his position from the white side doesn't look too impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this is pretty normal. I was going to say you could even try to consider F5 in some lines.
Yeah, to a way to break down that pawn chain, and C5 played by Tang, Knight C6. He's doing everything right, and he's up a few seconds on the clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this looks good so far. C4, I mean, what would Black love to do? Hey, you got double pawns, trade it off. Now you really notice the 3 pawns against 2 on the queen side.
Oh, and Knight B6 is by Knight takes E3, followed by Bishop C5, so the Knight has to go to F4. Your F5 move looks really strong now.
Yeah, that's right. It's like perfect, actually. It hits all the tender points, utilizing the Rook on E8, X-raying on the E file.
Okay, instead he goes to take over the dark squares. Does Tang, he but H4 against Bishop to G3. Doesn't look too... Oh my gosh, Danya saw that so fast.
And because Bishop F4 is using the tactic that the knight is pinned to the rook, whereas Knight E5 is the perfect reply with the exact same threat but reversed on you. That was gorgeous by Naroditsky, and he needed that for the confidence.
Wow, that was really an unbelievable tactic. And
Gorgeous.
it just, when all the rooks are on the same line, watch out when the pieces get out the way. And that's why Daniel was able to win that match. So, okay, we're here in game 4, 2-1 Tang. And this position, it looks very double-edged, Amon.
Right. I like f4 here. Yeah. And it's played. White is basically thinking about like h3, g4, wants to bust open the position. The bishops are going to thrive in an open game.
And here comes the open G file. The F4 pawn looks a bit weak, but so does the G file for black. And the king is going to have to castle queenside, where it won't be safe either.
Ooh, but takes in queen a5 for white looks very good. And if black has to take the but allowing queen a5, this has got to be great. Watch out for the rook swinging to b3 as well.
Yeah, here comes the king back to e7. Maybe the king should have went to e7 to begin with. That probably was the safer try. And is there knight takes d6 followed by queen takes c5 mate? Yes, so that's why the knight went back to e8.
Even still, I'm sure, I was going to say knight takes d6, but this is a similar idea. I'm sure this has got to be good.
But knight d4, no immediate threat.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
That's an immediate threat. Rook g7 is going to cap off the tactics here. And Tang made him pay. He had the bishops. He opened the game. I love that game, honestly, from the perspective of, hey, that's exactly what you do when you have the bishop pair. At all costs, especially in bullet, just open things up.
Well, I'm into the speculative pawn sack that Donnie just did. I don't care if it's bad. It feels good in bullet. The open G file, the pressure on the F7 pawn. This is Donnie's style. So he needs this game, and he's up a bunch of time really in the early going.
Yep. I think this is some old Shirov stuff that I remember seeing, but I definitely think he intended when he came up with the move. Yeah, use this in bullet at some point down the line.
You didn't know that's what Fire on Board was really about?
Yeah, it was all about bullet chess.
Oh gosh, and I mean the position is locked up, so the extra pawn, its presence not quite felt at the moment. But f6, he wants to be played, but the knight goes into e6, looks very dangerous. Oh,
King e7, strong piece there actually.
Yeah, there's no way to infiltrate. I knew Donnie was going to sack, but bishop takes g5 first seems to take care of everything.
He takes h5 now.
96.
And this is, Dania finds ways to just create play out of nowhere. It's so impressive.
Bishop
Knight
a6
c7?
was a phenomenal move by Andrew.
Yeah,
F5.
getting some play. Oh, knight takes d5. Now the king is actually incredibly safe, and it's black who's on the offensive.
But look at the clock. Donnie is up in an important 5 seconds. This position is still very complicated.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. How is he staying in the rook a8 threatens queen on e8?
Okay, c4. What a move to play. Oh, he found the rook hanging. I didn't even see that.
Nope. Count Dania among them as well. 8 seconds apiece. He's setting up rook h6.
There it is. Queen takes g5.
Oh, he plays it anyway.
Just over. And that's
unbelievable. And I mean, it's hardly even a discussion. I mean, those mating nets that these top bullet players are able to find, he had it all pre-move before I'm even looking for the mate.
And Tang just he hasn't moved. Look at him. He just is. He's laser focused right now. Can't be distracted by anything and playing amazing bullet chess once again.
Yeah, f4 is another really good idea. It's been used in a previous game, but hey, you got a bishop there. Try to pry open that e-pawn, make it move, and then you enjoy a fantastic diagonal.
Oh my goodness. G7 falls up in exchange for white. Danya is a little bit ahead on the clock, but too much time remains for that to be an issue for Andrew at the moment. Okay, rook h3.
Love the decision to play rook takes d3, by the way. When you're up so many pawns, up 3 pawns here, simplify things.
Okay, queen g2 is mate, so you should probably deal with that. He does. And yeah, this pawn on d6. If you take on d6, you open up the c file. That's probably going to lead to checkmate. So queen e2, queen e7 check.
7 plus d7 in general is going to be strong.
Good decision of Donnie to take here. He's up a few seconds. There's still some pressure down on g2.
Don't miss your rook hanging again. This is kind of same move as c4 last game.
You know what is interesting? Rook takes g2, check, knight f3, and take on e5. I know that white should be winning in that position, but it creates complications. And now Donnie's not even up on time anymore.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, something's dropping.
There goes the piece. And it's bishop g3 and bishop h.
You think it's completely over? Hey, I mean, black has threats here.
Rook c2 wins the queen. Oh, see, mate. But the queen on e1 could have been captured. Instead, he sees checkmate. He plays checkmate.
Robert, this is turning into one of the more one-sided matches. 5-1. I mean, it's hard to even notice some of the games go by. They happen quick as a flash, but Andrew is in peak form at the moment.
He is, and we saw yesterday that it's no fluke that he was beating Hikaru Nakamura late into that match. Yes,
Very
Hikaru
late.
ended up winning, but look at the way Tang is playing. He's so positionally sound, and he's spotting the tactics in critical moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tang is just a bullet beast in case you needed another reminder.
If you need another reminder, I don't know where you've been. I don't know what world you've been living in, but it's clearly not the chess world.
And you definitely have not been watching the Bullet Chess Championships. So, I mean, how dare you?
Okay, G4. I guess that would also open up White's king, but
yeah,
okay, you can't do it now.
Yeah, now it's looking a little rough.
Okay, queen. He needs to slither his queen in, but after queen e7, there's no way possible to do that.
Yeah, black is, I mean, he's kind of plugged everything, and yeah, he's just going to keep chucking the pawns forward. Keep it simple.
Yeah, H5, G5 doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, there's a pawn on A2 over there.
Yeah, there's definitely rook B1 that can be played here.
Good move, rook A1.
And he's just going so slow. It's like impressive.
But now we're getting into
G4?
this queen H7 check. What? He took on A2 and he joined. Oh, and that's a really bad mouse in an already losing position.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's exactly what it was. 6-1, and well, I think already no matter what, with some more games to play before the halfway point, no matter what, we're probably going to have our biggest lead one way or the other that we've seen in almost any match. But Robert, we're also at the point where if this lead keeps building, it might be nearly unassailable.
It's been unbelievable what we've seen from Tang, but this game right now, this is Danya's chance. I mean, look at that pawn structure on the king side. It's shattered. Here comes H5 followed by H4. Danya has no choice. He needs to win this game, and his position looks amazing.
Yeah, this is could be a big turning point because Bullet is the type of time control where just a single win can fire you up and get you going. That's right. All you need.
And then F4 hangs. So he brings the knight back to G6. That's a good move. And it's just frustrating. It feels like it should just be completely winning for black. Right. But how do you make progress? A king can just slide up to H2? Ooh, knight G2 played. Knight F4, second one. Okay, this is like good progress.
Such a weird position because, of course, a knight on G2, king on H1 is the worst configuration for black. There's just no pressure there ever.
It's a good lesson for you who play Bughouse. That a knight on G2, you don't take it. You leave it there. It's hard to attack the king when the knight's in the way.
Oh, but hang on. This is an awkward configuration.
And knight H5, just to get rid of that bishop and hit the F3 pawn. Okay, he's getting the F3 pawn in a different way.
Rook takes G4? F2. Oh my goodness.
Just take that. You could have taken on G2 by knight F4 check, but he's
this looks like Danya's game. He's uptime. He's got the necessary pieces. Knight just can't fall for an A5, but I think he's he's got that.
No more pawns. Okay, Danya playing at a quick pace here.
Yeah, he's not taking that knight, and both players following bullet principles, which is definitely do not take your opponent's knight, and if you have the knight and you're trying to pre-move, move it the heck away from the position as far as it can go.
Yeah, that was really smart to make sure that there were no stalemates because that would have been heartbreaking. It is still a 4-point lead, but Danya just steals that G7 pawn.
Yeah.
And what is the compensation for black right now?
Just picks his pocket, honestly. And bishop A6 is in the position as well.
Yeah, that at some moment is going to be good. Watch out for knight C2 check.
Oh, hang on.
Is there any way out of it?
Yeah, well, Danya, he's trying to keep the position alive here. Maybe H4?
Oh, knight C3 is next. The A7 pawn is loose.
This is pretty double-edged, honestly, because both sides have full control over the respective sides of the board. Queen side versus king side.
And black is somehow up a pawn, even though he lost the pawn early, but H5 is about to fall, and that's an important one.
Yep, H5, bishop C4.
Oh, he blundered a piece. Queen D3 and B. Oh,
rook A7. Gotta throw rook. Oh,
and knight C6.
Oh my goodness.
Tang sees everything. It's unreal.
And queen F5 to hit the C8 rook. Knight A7 defends the rook as well. It's just nothing can go his way.
just so impressive from Andrew Tang, and he's just cruising right now.
Yep. There's no
Queen A4?
threats to speak of.
You need to find a bunch of Queen B4. Just you got to go, right?
I would be playing Rook G6 as black and sacking for that bishop stat, but that queen trade is going to be great. And there's going to be one more game before the break. It is 7-2 right now, Robert. I mean, I usually like to say that the game before the break is pretty meaningful, pretty impactful. But honestly, it's a massive success for Tang, regardless of what happens here.
That's right. Although I'm sure Danya, he would love to get a win here just to even believe in himself. I don't think he believes that he has a chance right now, but getting a victory here could give him some confidence. He's castle queenside. White is up a pawn because black sacrificed an H-pawn, and the pawn structure clearly better for black, and that bishop on F2 looks particularly awful.
Yeah, looks so awful. He's going to trade it off for him.
A6. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
That was sick.
Both players fully comprehended what was going on there, as I'm sure that flew over everyone's head, myself included. The queen G5 was taking advantage of the lateral pin.
And the bishop needed to be distracted from B5 because, oh my gosh.
It's pretty crazy.
Look at the connect 4. There's a connect 5 for a moment there. And look at black's pawns.
Yeah, but it's a little bit weird because both sides have a really dangerous push here.
Okay.
I could see white winning this as well.
Nah, E2 check, rook C1, take G1, and that's that. Yeah, he's got it.
I could see white winning it. I don't see white winning it, but I could.
Yeah, I wear glasses every day. I'm on. I could, recommend a pair for you.
You could, yeah.
Whew. Wow, that was actually a ridiculous tactic that Danya found in this game.
Yeah, that was, I got to go back. I assume this one will get board.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to go find that one real quick.
That was a sick tactic.
Because, oh man, that was just, it happened so quick. It's bullet chess, and these guys are finding like puzzle rushes every move. Because initially, you see this move, Robert, and it's like A6. Wait, what? T8, right? What's going on here? Usually, you play this move. Maybe we can play Rook A8 and pin the bishop, right. But it looks like just a free pawn. And he comes out of nowhere with this move.
Oh my god! And Tang clearly recognized what was happening because he took on B7 and then took on C6. Because if his down a piece, he gets the piece back, and then he takes the queen. But Danya correctly assessed this position as great for black, thanks to his king's activity and all those pawns.
Yeah, it's super impressive. And of course, the point of A6 was that you had to undefend the queen for that whole tactic to work. So what can we say? Obviously, some sparks there from Naroditsky. I think if you're Team Naro, you're definitely happy the way that ended. He was down like 5-6-1. He put together a few points, and he climbed a little bit back in this match. But if you're looking at this match right now, Robert, obviously Tang is crushing.
He certainly is. And Danya came out a bit too aggressive. We'll see if he can rein it in. But for now, we'll take a quick break. When returns the second half of the match between Andrew Tang and Daniel Naroditsky here at the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. And we are back here at the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. We have Daniel Naroditsky and Andrew Tang matching up for a spot in the grand final on the line. They want to take on Hikaru Nakamura, who has yet to lose a match. Andrew Tang came closest to knocking off Hikaru yesterday, and today he's continuing right where he left off him on. He looks unstoppable. What can Danya do differently to take down Tang?
Well, to be quite honest, I think there's a few things that are contributing right now. Like, number one, just has to be said out loud. Tang's playing unreal. He's playing the same quality, if not better, that he was playing in the Hikaru match. And we know how strong Hikaru is. And he barely won that match. It came down to some final wins and clutch performances by Hikaru. But that is the first thing that's tough to deal with. And then there's the fact that Danya is definitely not on form today, right? He's playing a little bit slower, definitely getting outplayed on the board a little bit more. So whatever it is, that things just aren't clicking right now for Danya. So if you're him, I think you have to start taking a few more risks. Unfortunately, at the moment, that's what's been leading to the downfall. But I think you got to take more risks. Play riskier openings, play quicker, go for the pre-moves, and kind of go all in.
Well, he's up a pawn right now. He played a tricky opening with the Fianchetto Bishop and then storming his pawns up the king side. And it's an extra pawn. Knight H5 comes to mind. And I mean, this is looking good for Danya on the board and on the clock.
Yep. No, it's a good start for sure. I think the most important is the clock at the moment in positions like this. Like, he's going to try to get his knight to H4 and into F5 and maybe just slide his king F1 to G2 for safety.
Wow, rook DFA, what a calm move by Tang with the pawn on H7 and the queen trying to infiltrate, but the pawn on F6 was loose. And now it feels like Black's just almost there, but how to land the knockout.
Right. King G2 looks reasonable. There's bishop H3, but it doesn't really do much, I guess.
Yeah. Knight D6 is possible.
Yeah, knight D6 is possible. I don't know if it's the right idea, though.
It looked fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, that king on A5 is not very safe, so it goes back.
Yeah, knight C7 covered by the rook there, and the pre-moves are coming in, and Tang he's heating up with the moves right now.
And the fact that he allowed rook A7 and saw the knight could retreat to block it, I didn't see that coming. But he's down on the clock as Tang, and now he's losing a pawn. That's what happens when you're lower on time. You have to make certain pre-moves. You can't calculate things.
Yep. And the thing is, Tang is so insanely fast, but Danya knows that. And he knows Tang's going to be pre-moving a lot more than usual here.
That's right. But look at the clock right now. It's 2.5 seconds almost for Black. And that's a big check. And that's a big capture. Danya taking everything.
Yeah. And
oh my gosh,
that's a big win for Naroditsky. He needs to win those kind of bullet scramble coin flips.
Did you see him? He looked both relieved and pumped at the same time. So Danya, I think he has some belief in himself right now, but this is a bad start of the game for Black with that isolated A pawn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He gave that look like, if I didn't win that, I don't think I had a chance.
That's entirely true.
Yeah, absolutely huge.
And knight D2, that bishop on E4, stranded enemy tier. No way.
I don't believe this.
No, that was bad.
What were we supposed to do? Like bishop F5 is just E4.
Yeah, probably knight back to F6 is like the only way to defend. But this is really bad news for Dunn, who's also down 10 seconds on the clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here comes knight D2, bishop E4.
Yeah, bishop G3 was kind of a strange move when White played it, allowing F4 with tempo, but he realized that the bishop getting to the light square is defending the king. That's all you need.
Kind of baited him into it.
And it's funny because it almost feels like White is struggling to make any progress to cite big a piece up, though. Once that pawn fell, yeah, now it's clear.
Yeah, it's very clear now. The knight's coming to E3, rook A5, and that was probably a hybrid between a blunder and a hopeful move. But
yeah, now hope that Andrew's pre-moving and loses his queen. We have seen that happen. Yesterday, actually, Andrew was able to accomplish that against Hikaru when it queen E7 and took that queen on H4. So we have hanging pawn structure. Well, hanging pawns no more. This is just great for White.
Really smart decision to take with the bishop and actually get a great square for your knight. Amazing bishop on B2. And Black's great bishop on B7 suddenly has his own pawn in the way.
It's one of these positions where, rook D5. I mean, to play a move like that, not even really thinking,
yeah, exactly.
Incredible.
Bishop A6, and that bishop getting to A6 and D3 is monumental for the position. There's real chances for Tang now.
Okay, rook takes G2 was a threat, and that's why the queen went to G1. Not a place you really want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this looks
Just double the rooks, right?
Queen f1 force, because rook takes h3 was a big threat there.
Okay.
And bishop h3 isn't quite a threat.
Isn't it though with queen g4?
Oh, maybe I'm not respecting it enough.
Or maybe I'm just tossing away the position, but it looks like a fun move. Bishop g4, similar idea.
Oh, bishop f3 mate. Bishop
bishop h2. No rook h1 because queen h5 is covered.
So bishop oh, there's bishop h2, bishop e5 to play. Oh my goodness.
Oh, bishop e5. That's gross.
That was nuts.
What a find by you. Yeah, bishop e5 cuts off the rook from guarding that square, and then you have rook h1. That's gorgeous.
Well, you were saying there's no queen h5, so I was like, how do you make queen h5 work? And you put the bishop. That was unreal.
It took two of us.
Wait, but look at the time. Danya's ahead on the clock.
Yep. b6.
Oh, knight takes b5. He stole the piece. And he's stealing all the pawns.
Stole every pawn. 97. Yeah, and you got to feel that he's not going to miss his chance here.
He's got it.
Beautiful technique as well. Like, he didn't miss a beat there.
Wow, that was just absurd. And it's a 3-point deficit once again. Still just about 9 minutes remaining on the match clock. And ooh, Tang choosing a spicy opening.
Yeah, no, at this point, like, you definitely have to feel the energy from Naroditsky, right? It's almost like he knows he can come back in this match.
And well, look at the position. He's up a pawn.
Yes, it's just great. It's a way different second half of the match. Totally different player.
Yeah, maybe he was able to settle himself because after the match against Min, he had the adrenaline. We see that could be a benefit for him, but it seemed like he was just too aggressive in the way he was playing. Now he's finding his moments.
Yep, much more controlled. Even knight c4 here, nice and simple.
Yeah, please take me on c4.
Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. Like, please open my bishop. I dare you.
And just such a typical idea, right? Where you're looking at bishop on b7, bad bishops defend good pawns. You want to get rid of that good pawn and open up the bishop. And now it's, whoa.
Just no hesitation, knight e3.
Yeah, what a move.
Wow. That worked out really well for Tang. Like, he just took a whole bunch of pawns. His knight just went on a journey.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
I don't know, but that was incredible. And now he's protected everything. The a2 is dropping, so he can take it.
However, b6 would have been falling as well.
Okay, so queen e7 check at any moment is probably going to be quite annoying.
But I think at this point, White's kind of got everything defended in a nice way. And, you know, he's got the h-pawn now. White's just way better.
And here comes the h-pawn that you just mentioned.
King h4.
Queen c3 check. King h4. There's no queen e1. I was like, going for checks, but I don't have them.
Yeah, so that queen is going to watch the two.
Watch out for queen g2. Watch out. That was close.
Yep.
And Don just giving all the right checks.
Oh my goodness. This is 7 seconds apiece.
Check. Oh, there's bishop e8 mate.
Oh my goodness.
There's bishop e8. There's no time, but there was a mate on the board.
These guys are so fast.
What the heck just happened?
God.
What is happening?
Oof. Danya knows that coin flip was insane. The difference that would have made for the match. He was playing so fast. Honestly, though, if you pick a player that had the easier position to play, it was Tang. He had all the pawns. So I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, so impressed by Danya to even have a chance there.
That was just
Tang speed, Robert. It's at another level right now.
It really is. I mean, he is playing a great, great match. And Danya up a few seconds in the early stage of this game as well. He's clearly decided to speed up in the second half of the match, which has been good for him. But Tang, in those critical moments down the stretch, he still is just an absolute menace.
He is. He's been proving
Queen
that
E6?
Queen e6.
Queen f5?
There's some
Oh,
stuff.
the bishop
Knight
was
h5.
hanging. I didn't even see the bishop was hanging.
Oh yeah. There's knight h5, but definitely not what you're supposed to allow.
Okay, queen.
Wow. What a move, by the way. There's no queen d4 or c3.
Oh, but there was queen c7, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he was a little like he'd rather maybe play this position. I don't know.
It does feel easier to play for white.
Yep.
Especially.
Mm.
Yeah, we both had the same reaction. Rook e7.
Yeah,
No,
but black gets behind that pawn, and not to mention takes literally everything that white owns. Queen c2 forces the bishop back.
Queen c2 is a nice move there.
Here comes f4 or just the a pawn. And it looks like with this, it's got to be too much for Danya to handle. We're getting, under 5 minutes after this game.
Okay, but he stole that pawn. Maybe not the most important one to grab, but rook f6 check, rook g6, and okay, you lose your bishop.
Yeah, that's a little too tough.
Yeah, the time situation is good for Danya, but after this sequence, just mate. And that's that. That's Andrew Tang moving on to face Hikaru Nakamura. Tang, he's been incredible.
He has 10-5 to post a score like that. First of all, against anyone in this competition is insane. But against Daniel Naroditsky, of all people, truly impressive.
Where'd Black's rooks go?
maybe Black's looking to play 3-check chess. Probably the only format I think he still has a chance in.
Yeah, and 2 checks were in, right?
Yes. Yeah, knight b3 wins on the spot.
Yeah, or queen b2. You have your choice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if it wasn't over, it's over now.
What's really sorry, Mom. What's really strange is Tang's rating yesterday was like 3,100 barely.
Right.
How was he so underrated?
Yeah, like how did he waltz in and sort of no one paid any attention? How low rated he was?
Yeah, that's
pretty impressive.
Doesn't really make sense because he's doing well against Hikaru yesterday, and now he's just beating up on Danya.
I usually see him like 3,300, to be quite honest.
Wow. There goes the D pawn.
Mm-hmm. And fork, just a simple fork.
Oh.
Queen e7, and instead of queen takes c6, losing the knight on c5, knight e6, just on a dime.
So yeah, that was really nice. I would have played rook takes h7 check there and try to scope out a knight.
Covering e1 with the knight. He's like, yeah. Daniel's like, I see you. No worries. That looks like a mate. Remember, knight f8, rook, g8 or h7. Need to mate.
Oh, rook g8 is so nasty.
Nicely done. I mean, he's going to take these nice victories near the end of the match. Consolation prize.
Yeah, and Andrew, you could see his the color on his screen change because he was clearly looking at the match timer and then going back to the game to see what he should do, when he should give up, and he just let his time elapse.
Exactly. Yeah. At this point, I think both players are aware what the result is, but that's exactly how you should be doing things when you've got a lead like this. Yeah, double check that match clock. Make sure you're maximizing at all times.
And once again, Tang with a good position. Anytime he's playing these d4 lines, it seems like he's getting great chances.
Yeah, king f2, bishop eventually to d3. Wow, goes back to h1. I'm so surprised by that.
It's a really good bishop.
It's it's got a bright future ahead.
Maybe at some point you play like knight takes c5 and d6 and hope the bishop is free, but no, that doesn't do anything good, obviously.
Oh, there's a knight to take.
Take it.
Freedom.
Oh. Okay, Donnie's just pre-moving.
Yeah, he's just going like as fast as possible.
Right.
There's no way I would have played b4 to allow this, by the way. Just different styles. That bishop still hasn't breathed at all.
And now you can take the bishop if you want it, but that might allow.
Is this a draw?
Apparently. Knight d7. The queen went to the wrong square.
What a weird game.
And he's
bishop. Yeah, he's like, take the bishop.
Queen d4.
Thing.
That's a nice checkmate. That's a nice checkmate.
The bishop was so bad that nobody wanted it. You know, it's like that thing in the antique store. It just keeps collecting dust.
Hey, man, we've all seen Toy Story 4. Sometimes visitors come to the antique store and try to collect. Okay, Danya up a pawn.
Yeah, last game. So this, just check the clock myself. This is the last game.
Do you see the eval bar just plummet? It's because G6 was going to trap the queen.
That's funny. Trapping the queen on H5 when it looks like white's the one launching the attack. Knight F6.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can't take it probably. Oh, there was Knight H2.
Yeah, you could have taken it and put a piece on H2. Ridiculous.
Hey, I believed it. He believed it. That's all that matters.
I mean, Danya, once the match is already over, he's been playing a lot better.
It's true. But that's also fair to say that, like, Tang, obviously, he's playing a lot worse, less focused for sure. Once he saw that match clock, he knew. And
that's right.
Yeah, they'll just wrap the match up there. So it does end 11-8, but I will say that personally, I feel that this score is actually less representative of how the match went because I thought it was honestly extremely one-sided.
It was, yeah. No, Danya, he won a few games after the break, but Tang was able to regain his composure. He then went on a winning streak, and he cleanly wins this matchup. And guess what? We get a rematch, and we get Cloud9 versus TSM. We get Andrew Tang taking on Hikaru Nakamura. And I'm going to tease it, so I'm not going to ask you what your thoughts are as we go into this break. So I'll just send us away. We're going to be right back for the grand finals here at the Bull Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. Andrew Tang and Hikaru Nakamura face off next.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Todd.
Deborah says you're working on a fancy app or something.
Hold on. Not really working on it yet. I just don't know which cloud service to go with.
Well, I've got a cousin on my queen's side that swears by DigitalOcean. Says they're easy to use, have straightforward pricing, and really focus on making developers happy.
DigitalOcean, huh? I'm gonna check them out.
What the hell? Dude, how are you doing that? I'm not.
Would you like to work as an esports producer for the #1 chess site in the world? Chess.com is looking for a top-notch producer to join our talented and passionate team. Work remotely, producing live streams of the biggest chess events, and help shape the landscape of online chess entertainment. Go to chess.com/jobs now to learn more about this opportunity. Well, right now we've learned who our finalists are. It is the grand finals. It's Hikaru Nakamura taking on Andrew Tang. And Aman, Hikaru Nakamura, he's the big dog. He's the favorite. And he has to lose 2 matches in order for Andrew Tang to be crowned champion.
Exactly. That's what we have in front of us. Obviously, I think the fans of just chess in general are thinking, hey, you know, he loses the first match, we get an extra 30 minutes of bullet. I get that. But at the same time, if beating Hikaru Nakamura wasn't one of the hardest things to do in bullet, doing it twice in a long match format, I mean, this is an insane task that Andrew Tang has ahead of him. But Robert, the form that Andrew's in right now, he's got a real chance.
Yes, he does. I mean, the problem is winning for an hour straight won't be easy, but you look at the numbers. Andrew has played so many more bullet games in the last year on chess.com than has Hikaru, but the 85%, that is what I can't get over, is how darn accurate Hikaru is in bullet chess.
Yep, and that's what really separates him. You know, he's so accurate that he's winning games before they get to time scrambles. Now, when it comes to the player's form, I think that Andrew not only was in form the last time they played, but he's showed that he's in form right now. He just took down Danya with a very convincing match. So I think that, you know, Hikaru is the favorite every time he pretty much suits up to play a bullet match. But right now, I think we're witnessing probably one of the closest to a 50-50 that you're ever going to get against Hikaru.
I agree with that. Based on yesterday's performance, Tang has proven he's capable of taking down the beast. But right now, even looking position, Hikaru opting for his Fianchetto setup. Aman, the way that Andrew handled this yesterday and the way he's handling it right now, he's just really he's giving it to Hikaru.
Yes, I mean, why don't we just take on E4? That is a pawn in every sense of the word. And Rook G3, he's trying to coordinate on G7, but Bishop G6 is just, you know, kind of a cold-blooded move there.
Okay, Knight D7, hitting the Rook on F8. There's also Knight takes B6 coming, but this is a mess. Rook D1.
Everything is like so loose here. I think it hangs on for Andrew, but man, you got to be careful, choose the right move.
Yeah, because Bishop takes A3 or Rook takes D, the Queen takes B6, still defends the Rook on D8. The Rook on D8 defends the back rank.
That's
so
right.
Honestly, it looks like Andrew's exiting this up a pawn. Opposite color Bishop,
which is fantastic. I mean, the chances are all for Andrew. And if you're picking a position that you want to have against Hikaru, I mean, this is it.
That's right. He doesn't trade queens. A queen trade would just be a draw. And Andrew's saying, I'm going to try to win this game despite being down on the clock.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. He played Queen D5 as a pre-move. Now I think we really do have a draw in our hands. That's not something that he wanted to allow there.
That's right. And I mean, Andrew, if anyone's going to flag anyone, I think it's Andrew with a better mouse speed down the finish line. But okay, Hikaru can just...
Yeah, I think Andrew's just going back and forth. Like, if you're going to use that ability to flag, I think you want to save it for when it's actually useful, because that position is going to be a draw every day of the week.
And what you do by trying to flag Hikaru there when it's not going to work is you make him mad, and nobody likes Hikaru when he's mad. And I mean that in the Hulk way. You don't want to piss that guy off because he will take it out on you over the board.
Yeah, no, you want to not flag him there. So it's like, oh yeah, no, just a respectful bullet match. No flagging here.
Wasn't C takes B2 winning a piece just a moment ago? The G5 knight was not going to be defended anymore. So I don't really know what's happening here, but this is bizarre.
Yeah, and let's not forget simply Bishop D4 almost. This is a insane move. He's taking on H4 and everything coordinates. Wow, yeah. Hikaru is like going to dominate this position. Bishop G5, Queen H7.
And G3 was played? That was...
well, I think if you're playing that move, you already know something's gone very wrong.
Yeah, Queen H1, and he just resigns before it.
He doesn't want any part of that position. Fair enough. Quick start for Hikaru. You know, sometimes Hikaru's getting off these slow starts, making these insane comebacks. You have to feel that if Hikaru gets off to the good start, he might just not be able to be caught at all.
No, that'd be really bad news for Tang. And right now, once more, he has an absolutely fine looking position out of the opening. He's developed perfectly naturally, and he is keeping pace on the clock, although Hikaru has a slight lead.
Yeah, in these positions, sometimes you can even just play bishop takes f6. Like, just take the knight against the bishop in bullet. That's often an idea, but Hikaru's keeping it solid. He likes the bishop on b2 for now, but pretty even game, honestly. So Tang's stabilizing.
But look at the clock. I mean, Hikaru's up about 8 seconds throughout this matchup here. And look at him pushing forward, just gaining space, threatening a thing here or there.
Yeah, I don't know. The more he does that, though, the more the end game looks kind of nice for black.
That's right. Sometimes you overextend your pawns, and okay, bishop's out on b6. That's going to be a good attacking piece in the future. g5. I feel like you need to get some activity here if you're
Definitely.
black. Ooh,
Yeah,
queen
well,
eight.
queen e8's that's an activity kind of move.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's g5, and
now there
queen
are
e8.
ideas like g4 here, and then queen e4 to try to penetrate the position.
Knight c5. There's going to go knight b4 to remove the knight from protecting the bishop on c7, and whoa, things are happening too fast.
Yeah, that's a pawn. Great move by Tang. Queen b7 was an incredible find.
And knight, where's that knight going for black? I don't really see anywhere. He wants the e5 pawn. Oh, he was pre-moving queen e4. He's down on the clock.
Yeah, the queen is defending the pawn from a distance, though.
Oh, and Tang, look at that. He realized he didn't have too much time remaining. He just made it so he can ensure a repetition.
And, you know, Hikaru probably is a little bit upset that he didn't really try to flag that or that it was a repetition. But honestly, Tang is insanely fast. I wouldn't even be so sure that he would lose that.
Oh, look at this position, though. Tang off to a great start in this game. You are correct that trying to flag Tang, that could be at your own peril. And Tang drops a pawn, and yet his activity still is very nice.
Right. You know, rook d7, a4, rook c7, rook d7.
Rook takes a6, so this is...
I think it's just equal.
Yeah, looking level, although that knight has been kicked around a lot. Knight c6, and e5. That's a win for Tang.
Rook d7 and e5. Wow.
Just
Because
winning a
rook
piece.
c8, you can just take this with the rook, and there's back rank issues as well.
Oh my goodness.
What an insane move. Right?
Oh my gosh, because rook takes e7, rook a1's mate, but now it's rook b8 checkmate.
Oh my goodness. These guys are on another level. Knight e4 is insane, by the way.
Yes, it really is.
Like the level is way up there when the finish to that game is knight e4, didn't see it, looks amazing. Rook b1, didn't see it, looks amazing.
Well, now that we're tied 2-2, I should have asked earlier, what do we think? Who's going to win this match? Let us know in the chat who you think will take this match home. And right now it's all locked up. And again, we have a trade of pieces. Andrew's been able to do this time after time. He's neutralizing all of the opening advantages that Hikaru hopes to have.
So do you think that this is like, do you think this benefits Hikaru or Andrew? Because Hikaru's kind of willingly going for these sorts of positions time and time again.
I think that based on what we saw yesterday and what we're seeing today, that this is good for Andrew. He's found his comfort zone, but right now he's spending a lot of time and he just needs to move.
So, I mean, in these positions though, the king gets to g7 and, you know, queen d4, as soon as you play that e5 move, queen f8, man, this went bad fast.
It really did. So it have to be a checkmate, king f6, there's queen h8, and if king e7, there's just queen f8 check, and then take on h6 with check. Just mopping it up.
He's just, yeah, exactly. As you said, mopping it up. Rook e8.
Okay, queen d5 is a good attempt. Oh, and you can't go h6 because queen d1, queen h5.
That's very important, and there's no queen d1 now.
And there goes that pawn.
How do you stop that thing, though? h4 is not even available.
Nope. And that means the queen happens. That means Hikaru wins, and now he takes a 3-2 lead.
That's right. 3-2 in this game. Or sorry, in this match rather, and Hikaru with the lead, but every time he's taken that lead, Andrew's been right there to close the door on it getting any bigger.
That's true. Although right now with the isolated pawn, Hikaru doing his best to make sure that pawn can't push forward, and that's why he's covering the d5 square so many times.
Yep. h4, so I was going to say maybe h6, but just h5. So, wow.
Oh, I hated the move f3, by the way.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good with that queen on b6. You're opening yourself up for tactics.
Bishop f6. Okay, I like that move.
Yeah, but I think you just take everything. Black is super happy here.
Rook e5. All right, g4 at some point, but the h4 pawn is loose, so you can't play g4 just yet.
Yeah, I think Black is doing super well in this position. There's just no tricks.
It looked like there could be a potential attack, and Hikaru just puts his piece in all the perfect squares.
Yep. Rook d7, queen d8, even to fully gang up on that pawn.
I like the look of that. Oh, queen d6, great move trading off the queens. He doesn't even do it right away. He realizes he can go back at any moment.
Yep. And now he's just winning that pawn in the middle of the board. Textbook, Robert, how to play against an isolated pawn.
And look at the clock. He's doing it all so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to win another pawn with rook d2 check if that rook doesn't trade. Game over.
Yeah. He just says, look, the last thing you want to do is just waste another 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, he's really just showing off his skills here. And we're back to this opening once more, where I really don't think that Andrew's having problems.
Yeah, I can't remember the results of every game that Hikaru's been white here, because that might contribute to it. Like, if Hikaru is drawing and winning in every game he plays, hey, I understand. Play it every time. But it definitely seems like Andrew should be happy with this.
Knight takes g7, knight h5 check afterwards. Uh-oh.
Utilizing the diagonal, and, well, that's a queen.
Did he not see his... Oh, he looked to the side. I don't think he really knew that his queen was hanging.
No, and the other problem for Tang is that we just saw Hikaru start head bobbing. And I think when he starts going side to side, like, you know, jam into the beat, which may or may not exist, that's not a good sign for your opponent.
But he's not even wearing a pineapple shirt. So is he the real Hikaru?
We'll find out probably near the end of the show, right? Yeah.
That pawn on b7, we've seen this in many games the last couple of days here. It's not a good look for black. No. And this knight on f3 is going to be better than the bishop can dream of being. Although c6. Okay. Oh gosh, you had to play c6 there.
There was the dream was executed there. All of a sudden, black's bishop takes, and I don't think Hikaru is going to be much worse here.
Nope. In fact, they're going to make
maybe
a draw
F4,
in a second.
Queen h5, f4.
Oh, that is a way to play on.
I think he just noticed that, which is why he played queen h4.
Oh my gosh! But he went queen h4 to go rook e5, rook g5, and go try and checkmate the white king.
Wow. Okay, but hang on. Things are getting dicey. Now the rook's on the wrong side of the king. This is bad news. Look at the coordination from Hikaru's pieces.
And look at the lead on the clock as well. Okay, that's a really good decision to run the king. And rook e1 was another good one.
Now do we go back here, or what's the...
rook e... Oh, he gives the check to bring the king to g7. Wow. So queen takes d4 will be check.
And that's going to work out for this rook a2, queen h2 to try to keep the queens on the board.
Oh my gosh, Hikaru started so fast.
But hang on, so rook d1, there's going to be rook e7 though.
Oh, he missed that. Rook d1 was really good. And he queen takes c4 and pushes c-pawn.
And c6.
Queen f6. What is happening here? It's a time scramble, but black should be on the better side of it.
Because there's queen f3, and there's 4 queens on the board, but checkmate as well. And in case you kind of forgot, and it's so easy to do in a match with Hikaru, if you blink and look again, it's 6-2 now, Robert.
He is unbelievable right now. I mean, and he's playing the same openings over and over again. And you're right, Aman, that maybe he should keep playing these openings because he's scoring with them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just look at the objective evaluation like, oh, you know, Tang's got to be happy with an equal position. Like, Hikaru is playing these maybe because he's sort of targeting something with Tang. Like, it doesn't matter how bad they look. If he's getting the results, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Although this looks really bad. He's on 2 points.
Looks pretty broke. Yeah, this needs fixing.
Oh, gosh.
But the thing is, if he wins this, like if he somehow goes on to win or draw this game, I think he keeps playing the opening.
Probably. If he somehow wins this game down 2 pawns and with Tang having as much time as he does, it would just be absurd. Yeah. E5. Just protect your f7 pawn. Whoa.
And checkmate looks good. And well, I think if you have to trade queens as white with 2 outside connect pass pawns, that's pretty much tantamount to resignation.
I mean, you say that, and I'm waiting for Hikaru somehow to survive this game, but no, he can't. There's no way. Right? There's no way.
Right? Echo.
96 check. Okay, that's the 3rd pawn.
Maybe even Hikaru, you know, he has no chance here.
But Hikaru's going to smartly wait his time out and then play the next game because he realizes with his lead and with how well Andrew is playing that Andrew can cut into it, and we're about to be at the halfway break after the next game.
Yeah, I was about to say he's not going to let the time go to 0. I'm curious why he didn't just make a bunch of moves there instead.
Yeah, maybe he just figured this is the best way to waste some time. And now we have one last game before the halftime break. And if Andrew can win this, he'll probably feel like he has a chance. But if he loses this, oh, it's bad news.
Yeah, I think we all know what Hikaru can do in the second half of matches. So it's not like you say, oh, first half is kind of tough, but okay, I got him in the second half. No, that's exactly where Hikaru starts to accelerate.
Well, look at Andrew's A pawn accelerating here. A takes B6. Maybe
Do you take and go rook E8 and B7. Is that anything?
Okay, so
Jeez, doesn't matter anymore. There's an A pawn for Andrew, and he knows he's got the better position here.
yeah, he's got control of the open B file. He's got a pawn on A7 and bishop F3, and just rook takes D5 and bishop F3. Yeah, he's not taking. Take it.
But surely now you have to take it. Bishop F3. This has got to be winning.
Okay, take it now.
Now he takes it.
Third time's the charm.
Right.
And how?
Even rook takes C3. I was going to say,
Wow.
yeah, that's kind of a fancy move to get things done.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I think this will do it. I think he will win this game before the break.
Andrew quickly winning a couple games in a row. That is really important for him. Oh my gosh! He allowed a checkmate as soon as I said winning a couple games.
Oh my goodness. And this game is going to get aborted, Robert, and that's so deflating. You don't even have a chance to untilt yourself or tilt yourself, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't get any chance at another game. He's got to wait and sit in the moment because Hikaru Nakamura just pulled off the biggest swindle of the match.
That was incredible. Like, you just think White is completely winning, has a second queen on the board, no risk whatsoever. But when he put that queen on D6, he took away the H2 square, delivered a checkmate on the back rank, and Hikaru Nakamura out to a 7-3 lead. We'll see the second half of this match here, and if Hikaru can lock up the championship when returned to the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean in just a few. This is the grand finals of the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. We have Hikaru Nakamura squaring off against Andrew Tang. And Aman, we just saw Hikaru Nakamura win a game that he had no business winning, and now he leads by a 4-point margin.
Yeah, no business winning is maybe even an understatement. There were 2 queens on the board for Andrew Tang, and that wasn't enough somehow. Hikaru's the kind of player that, it's like those villain movies where they don't actually kill the good guy, they just put him in jail. You got to finish him off or he's going to come back to haunt you.
That's absolutely correct. And Hikaru Nakamura, he's haunting Andrew Tang right now because it's the only person that has beaten Tang. And right now, Andrew facing a 4-point deficit. He has 14 minutes and change to mount a comeback, but against Hikaru, just closing that kind of gap, I don't know about it.
Exactly. And let's not forget, double elimination format. So if you're Hikaru, you're comfy right now. You know that in the worst case, the unexpected happens. Somehow you lose this match. You've still got another chance at the overall title.
That's right. The beauty of the double elimination format and the beauty of not having lost a match to this point. Ooh, takes on H6, a speculative sacrifice. Usually these work out in Bullet.
Right.
E5, I think you have to play to shut down the diagonal.
Hard to imagine. I mean, F6 is also there, but just Queen G6. So yeah, E5 almost the only move.
Okay, so Queen G6 now is a huge threat thanks to the bishop pinning the pawn on F7.
Bishop D5.
Wow, Queen D6 he played, and Queen F6, protecting and threatening the F2 pawn. And F4 so quickly played by Hikaru. What the heck?
The bishop protects, and there's no bishop C5 or anything.
How do you do that?
Amazing.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, bishop F3 doesn't work.
Unreal.
Hikaru's on another level. I was about to say Hikaru's on cloud 9 right now. Which would not be true.
No, he's still on TSM.
Yeah,
actually.
TSM actually. That's the other guys on cloud 9.
Wow, I mean, this is incredible stuff. G4 trying to go after the H7 pawn. This makes perfect sense. Andrew does have a nice position in this game. Black has the bishop pair, but White has the lead in development and control of many important squares. Knight takes G6.
That's a big one, though. It's an important pawn. Also taking on D5 looks right. F5, if that drops, I mean, feel like Tang might score this one. Although after what I've seen from Hikaru in terms of comebacks, nothing's for sure.
No, but this one, I mean, as far as winning positions go, this one is extremely winning.
This is definitely up there. But at some point, do you just like commit to a pawn and just start pushing? Because what else to do?
Well, he took more pawns, but I would commit to an E6 push at some point.
Right. Look at this, up, down, eval bar action here.
Yeah, I guess the weights on it aren't heavy enough, but it's going, oh my gosh, somehow.
E6? What?
How does Hikaru do
Wait a minute. All these pawns are just disappearing, though.
Yeah.
You can take this, and what's happening?
Isn't Black up a pawn now?
Yeah, wait. Well, there were there was 4 connected pawns in the middle of the board.
Knight C4. Oh, wow.
But that's not cashing in for the best result, really.
No, just allowing an immediate draw, and Hikaru draws the game and maintains his 5-point lead.
Yeah, and we've been maybe half criticizing this opening. It's not giving Hikaru much in terms of an advantage or anything special, but it's kind of working for him. Like he's basically home free as White. I don't feel like he's lost many of these at all. And with the way the match is going, he no longer needs to get these crazy wins, right? He just needs to maintain.
That's right. And look at his rook lifting up the board. He's sacking that rook because the queen takes F7 check would likely lead to checkmate. So rook F8 seems to be the move defending. Oh, this is a weird position.
Yeah, super weird. You can kick this knight out with a few moves. It's important that this bishop doesn't get into the action.
That's right. Bishop G5
D5 ever happens.
Yeah, Bishop G5 is a nice skewer of the rooks on E3 and C1 before. And so Black is just ahead by an exchange. And
I'd really consider the move D5 pretty soon.
If that queen moves, you're for sure playing D5.
Like, just to play it. I know it just basically drops a pawn, but like D5, oh, damn. Not letting me.
And he lets the knight into G6, but he's shut down the bishop permanently on the dark squares. And now he can, and the F2 pawn is hanging. It doesn't want it.
No, and it's tough. E6 is hanging. Look at the time. Hikaru has made this so difficult.
And he just won an exchange back because Andrew started pre-moving, looking at the clock, and now Hikaru is pressing forward.
Ooh, I don't like that decision to trade the rooks, though.
Yeah, it makes Tang's life easier. Okay.
Yeah, Tang has some easy pre-moves here, though, right? Like, those were easy to get out.
H5, important move, giving the king some space. Or is it just allowing a draw? Oh, that was a mistake by Hikaru.
He caught him. Andrew caught him with an unexpected move, the queen there. And I would say, Andrew should probably win this.
And there he goes. Yeah, he's not going to allow this one to escape his grasp, and he wins the game. It's a 4-point deficit once more. Just under 10 minutes remain. Amon. Andrew needs to keep winning.
He needs to keep winning. There's no other way to, sugarcoat it or try to sell it. The possibility that Andrew comes back is absolutely still there. So there's, definitely enough time on the match clock, but this is less about the match clock and more about who's sitting across from you there in Hikaru Nakamura.
That's right. But look at this H file being open in rook H1 and play that quickly.
Yeah. Well, king F8, king E7, the king's going to look to find some shelter on E7 of all squares.
And he takes the rook, can't take his rook H8 would have been a skewer on the back rank. And now the king is safe. And how does Hikaru do this?
Yeah. Like now it's just the king's well placed in the endgame, Robert.
He's like better for black.
Yep. How did you not expect that?
Although white actually is better still.
Yeah. Pushing, but hard to do anything too decisive here. Yes, you'll get your knight into F5, but black meets it with knight F4 as well.
Rook G7, we see a trade, and Hikaru's rook infiltrates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both sides are doing a little something here. Whoa.
That knight E8 move was awesome, by the way. And you can't take on E4 because
knight
F6
check. If he took.
Wow, knight E8 by Tang was really, really cool.
Yeah, it totally paid off.
Wasn't there a king E or B4 would have actually maybe won that knight on D5 a moment ago?
It is, just barely not made. Both kings nearly checkmated here in the middle of the board.
Yeah. Knight D6, king D8, B5. Okay, the pawn's pushing.
Oh, meeting net. Watch out.
King to B7 in your pawn's way. Oh, and he dropped the pawn.
Oh, that's pretty key.
Oh my gosh. Time. They're scrambling.
Ooh, this is winning for white. You gotta take the rook.
You gotta take the rook. He's gonna try. We've seen this before.
Yeah,
we've seen this before. And Andrew's trying to flag him. Andrew is trying to flag him, and he's gonna succeed.
He's gonna succeed.
He does it.
Oh my goodness. We have seen that. That's a flashback to the last match they played where a draw was secured with a rook captured by Tang. And those rook versus rook positions, hey, you got to take him how you can get him. Tang with the win and cutting the lead to 3.
Wow, that was huge. Still 7.5 minutes remaining on the match clock. So if Andrew can keep up the winning streak, he really does have a shot in this match. But a winning streak against Hikaru Nakamura?
Yeah, win is hard enough, but streak, I mean, what are those?
Hey, we're going to the...
There was just knight takes G5, winning a piece, winning the game for Hikaru, but kind of zoomed by it.
Probably didn't expect Andrew to blunder that, and now the pawn structure is clearly worse for white.
Yep. Now, if you're Andrew, you're definitely happy to be here. Got some chances. G4 is great. You got the H file for your
Rook
pieces.
C1.
That knight's not doing much. Knight A4, knight B6. So what?
Rook F1, the king just runs away, but it feels like Rook C4. As soon as that knight moves, he's play Rook C4, like right now. He finds it.
I think he saw that exactly. He's making a serious comeback. Pawns are just dropping.
They're all gone. Wow.
Amazing. Bishop G6, he can hold on there as well. Rook B5.
I like Rook B5. Can you take on B2? Why not? How many pawns is he up?
I know.
He wants C5 check and Bishop F7.
Ooh, and he's going to get it.
And B5 and B4. Oh, he Rook takes E4 initially.
Right.
He still has Rook takes E4. Clever.
Tricky. I think you could just even go A4, like in a lot of moments, just give up the exchange.
Wow, and Hikaru resigns. That's a bit surprising. 2-point deficit now.
Crazy. And you know what? We have seen that from Hikaru where he resigns because in his mind, it's like, I actually want a higher volume of games. So if I don't think I have chances here, I'm going to resign, go next.
But look at this position. Another good one for Tang.
And we talked about how difficult it is to beat Hikaru, let alone get a winning streak. Tang's doing both of those things right now.
He's just playing an amazing match. Is there bishop c5, queen takes e5, take on f4 next, take all those pawns?
That would be quite the move. Bishop h4 is a little more pragmatic, but bishop c5 looked like fun.
Okay, so h6 pawn's hanging, but I don't know if Black really wants to. He says, I'm going to play bishop g5 and defend. Is there knight takes f4?
Oh, played. Wow. He's going for it all with e5.
Yeah, he has no fear. Oh my gosh, there has to be something, right? Queen e3 check is Black's next move.
Yeah, this is so tough to meet. Don't have anything. Queen e7 doesn't work.
And king b1, queen e4 check. It's over.
Yeah.
How does Hikaru do this?
He's got to play rook e1. Pretty much the only move.
Okay, so queen e3, and he's going to queen g6, and he trades queens by force.
By force.
That is unbelievable.
Hikaru doing Hikaru things. Like, if there's one thing about Hikaru in every match we've witnessed, is that the guy is clutch. Like, he just always wins when he needs to. It doesn't matter if, he was up in this match by 4 points. Tang storming back 2 wins in a row, attacking to make it 3. But Hikaru just wins right when you think you've got him against the ropes.
Just an incredible display of bullet prowess by Hikaru Nakamura. Still within reach is this match for Andrew Tang. He's down 3 points. There's over 4 minutes remaining. He'll get that third game before the match clock expires, but he has to win this one right now.
Yeah, this is crucial. So I think there's just no other way to say it. He must win this game.
Oh,
that is a tough looking position.
Yeah, allowing that pawn to go to e6 and that pawn chain from g4 onwards. Oof.
But you know what? If you're going to have a position that you need to win against Hikaru, hey, I'll take the double-edged, right? You've got a pawn down your throat on e6, but you've got 2 connected pass pawns on the outside of the board.
It's true. You raise a good point. And rook d5 was a nice move by Andrew in the first place. And okay, one of those pawns is gone, but e7 pawn remains.
Yeah, and watch out for that diagonal. Queen to a4, there'd be a queen b6 or queen c5.
Oh, gosh. If rook a4 is queen b8.
There's
so queen c7 check? Maybe it's just a draw, but that's not good for Andrew.
B8? Maybe queen c7, rook b8.
But it's king g1 the third time. I think he plays rook b8.
I think this is a good try.
Yes, especially with the clock situation.
He wants to cover this so he can move the rook again.
Wow, that rook b4 move.
He can never touch it. There we king f7. That's a great move.
Queen takes e7. He got the pawn. Uh-oh.
Ooh, the knight is still pinned, though, to the king.
King on h7 is much safer than it was. Rook g8 has queen takes e4. That was a free piece. Oh, my goodness. Oh, queen takes g5.
What a great pre-move by Tang. Pre-moved queen b8 check. That is such a good lesson for anyone watching. When you're pre-moving, always pre-move a check. Because if your opponent doesn't move like what Hikaru did, queen takes knight, and hangs it, you'll always be able to catch that.
Wow. And it is a 2-point gap right now. Tang needs to win another. He's the white piece in this game. He's going for the attack. I don't believe in Hikaru's attack on the queen side. I do believe in Tang's attack on the king side.
Yeah, well, I wonder if the chat is... earning some believers as well, as this attack looks crushing for Tang. He can take that rook at will, not to mention bishop takes e6 drops the knight on a4, so I think he's going to continue with the pressure.
I mean, that king is never going to find shelter, is it?
No, I don't think so. It's going to be under the barrage of these bishop pair pieces for a while.
But if anybody can survive a position like that, it is Hikaru. But where's that knight going? He just went knight g4, and the knight was shot queen g4, rook g5, queen takes e6. Take all the pawns, all the pieces.
Right.
He goes rook h5. Looks pretty reasonable to me, though.
Still a great move, though, it looks like.
Just take on it.
Oh, he plays king c2. That might be a good move, but some pressure for Hikaru. Knight c1?
Okay, queen f1. How does it? Queen d1 check is looking annoying.
God.
How is he... he's not just in this game. Like, he might take the edge soon.
Incredible. This game is so tactical. Rook h2
and queen e4, just a quick check. But how many pawns does I have? 2 pawns.
C8, d5.
d5 only move. Push your pawns. You have to.
Got to be b4.
Send them. Send them. Send them.
Everything.
And you can't play h4. That was important. d6.
Oh, but the pawn gets there in d6.
Oh,
White
my.
wins. No, you had to just move the a pawn. Oh, no.
Oh, he allowed the queen. He didn't move his bishop back first.
It's
Look at a knight. That was incredible. And he's going to lose on time.
Oh, but a draw is not good enough. That's it.
The fact that he just took and promoted to a knight was awesome. That's the first under promotion we've seen in the BCC.
And it's just a 2-point gap. It's so unfortunate for Tang, who played insanely well to make this a match. He was down by like, was it 4 at some point?
Yes, he was. He was down 7-3.
Wow, that was insane by Hikaru to make that comeback. Tang, and you saw the eval bar, just jumping up and down. Obviously, not commenting that these players should have seen everything, but it meant that there was a chance for Andrew, a real chance, Robert, with time expiring to win that game and put himself in a position. But alas, Hikaru Nakamura, is he Hikaru Nakamura?
I think he has proven to the world that he is, in fact, Hikaru Nakamura. And he is going to be your 2022 Bullet Chess Champion.
Seriously impressive. I mean, to take down Tang in this form also speaks volumes. We know how good Hikaru is, but Tang was playing insanely well in the entire BCC.
Yeah, I mean, if Hikaru Nakamura didn't exist, then Andrew Tang very well would be our BCC champion. But Hikaru does exist. We've learned that firsthand here at Knight F6.
Do you just move your king afterwards? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was Bishop D7 there.
Yeah, he needed to play that. Bishop E6 mate.
Bishop E6.
Oh, that is a brutal finish to the Bullet Chess Championship. But Hikaru Nakamura officially has won. 11-8 is your final score. Aman, what can we say about the match that we just saw? It was marvelous.
It was. I think, once you just see the result of the match, it's easy to take a step back and say, oh, Hikaru won the Bullet Chess Championship and he beat Tang in the final. Yeah, sure. I get that. But if you were here watching, I think the people in chat know and understand just what a sweat this match was. Hikaru will probably be the first to admit that game that he drew was so clutch, secured the entire match. I think Tang was a formidable opponent twice for Hikaru. Hikaru had to dispatch of him, more than once, and Hikaru deserved winner. I mean, his road wasn't easy, but he gets it done again. Just reminds us, Robert, why he's on top of the bullet world.
Well, he is our 2022 Bullet Chess champion, and we will have him on air. We're going to interview him right after this break for more from the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. You won't want to miss the winner's point of view.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Todd.
Deborah says you're working on a fancy app or something.
Hold on. Not really working on it yet. I just don't know which cloud service to go with.
Well, I've got a cousin on my queen's side that swears by DigitalOcean. Says they're easy to use, have straightforward pricing, and really focus on making developers happy.
DigitalOcean, huh? I'm gonna check them out.
What the hell? Dude, how are you doing that? I'm not.
welcome back everyone to the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. We're joined by the winner, Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. And Hikaru, got to start off by saying congrats. I wanted to ask you, in terms of, let's say your form, do you think Andrew, having played other matches, he got to warm up a little bit and you're sort of just waiting for him? Would you rather play Bullet warmed up, or going in cold was okay for you?
I think going in cold was completely fine for me. I felt that, I just played fast as I could. And I think generally the decisions I was taking were correct. So it seemed pretty smooth to me, unlike yesterday, which of course was a lot closer.
What do you make of the format? Because in a double elimination, you got to see Andrew a second time. Do you like the double elim format?
I think for me, I'd rather just play one time rather than play multiple times. But at any rate, it gives people more chances. So perhaps if I had lost a match, I would have had a chance. But I would add, I think that having the break helps a lot. Like I felt like Daniel, for example, he was completely exhausted after that crazy match against Min Lei. And I think that after that crazy match against Min Lei, he basically he ran out of gas. So he had nothing against Andrew. And I mean, that's not to say Andrew wouldn't have won anyway, but it seemed like it was a lot wider of a margin than it probably would have been otherwise. So yeah, I think having the break helped, but double elimination for me, I felt like I beat everyone already once before I had to play today, but it's certainly something different. So it was fun to try it out.
Yeah, no, well, obviously you did end up playing Tang twice. Can you speak to his form at all? Because we certainly thought here in the commentary booth that Tang seemed to be in some of the best form of his life and was really giving you a run for your money, obviously, in the first match. And then the second one was quite close as well. He was mounting a comeback right to the very end.
Yeah, Andrew, obviously, he's been playing very well in Bullet. He seemed to clearly outplay Danya. And in that match, I felt yesterday was close. Today, it got close to the end. I think I kind of relaxed a little bit too much when I was up by four games. I sort of didn't realize just how much time was left. So he's been playing very well. But at the end of the day, I thought I played better. So yeah, it's what it is.
How good did it feel right before the break when he had two queens on the board, but you slammed down that rook c1 check and rook e1 checkmate heading into the break?
Yeah, that was really nice too, because I was ready to resign the game. I think I thought for maybe like 5 or 10 seconds before I played rook. I think I played like rook c8 or something. I let him get the second queen. So it was really nice because not only did I swindle him there, but I also was able to burn a little bit more time off the clock. So it was pretty nice to have that happen. Again, as I said, I didn't really feel like I was ever in danger in this match. Maybe towards the end it got a little bit closer than it should have, but I felt like overall it was smooth most of the way. So I'm just very happy that, again, unlike yesterday, it didn't turn into the drama fest. Yeah,
no, that's a pretty good summary. It's how it looked to us in the commentary booth. I know there were a lot of fans of yours in chat. So, the championship is yours, Hikaru. We got to say congratulations. You're the this year's Bullet Chess champion. How does it feel?
It feels good, but I will say this. I feel like with every year, I felt like maybe you go back like 5-6 years, I thought I had a big edge. I feel like that edge every year is getting smaller and smaller. So it's nice to win, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Well, you should definitely enjoy it. And you just won this bracket. Did you fill out an NCAA tournament bracket by any chance? Who's your winner? I didn't do that, unfortunately. Okay. I actually thought about that, but I'm just so busy preparing for Berlin and doing all these streams. So didn't really have a chance. But if I had to root for somebody, I know it's terrible to say, but I think Duke is still in, right? So yeah, I'd have to say Duke since it's Coach K's final swan song. I think that's an approved answer around here, guys. We'll let Hikaru go. It's been a long day, lots of bullet chess. Hikaru, once again, congrats and thanks for joining us for the interview. Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good one. Congrats, Hikaru. Oof, Robert, what a day! What a tournament! You can see right there. Deserved winner, Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. Is there anything else to add, Robert? He just once again demonstrates that he's on top of bullet chess at the moment. But interesting to hear his thoughts there, that he feels, he's willing to admit, he feels like he's losing his edge just a little bit every time. Yeah, well, these young guys come in here, they give him a run for his money, but I don't
really think he's getting too old, because when he played Brandon Jacobson, that score was as lopsided as it gets. It was like 19 and a half to half or something like that. So Hikaru was in great form. And I like what he said about playing Andrew the second time. He felt like the first match, things were getting away from him. He did win the match, of course, but it was really tightly contested. And then today, he felt like he was in control the whole time, even when Andrew won 4 out of 5 nearing the end of the match.
Yeah, that's you get more comfortable playing an opponent after you've already done it, and it sounds like for him, he sort of felt like maybe Daniel was getting exhausted playing multiple matches. So from his point of view, it was probably actually nice that he didn't have to play 2+ hours of bullet chess in one sitting. So it kind of benefited him that the format caused the other players to play a lot, whereas he wasn't losing any matches and played the least amount of games in the tournament.
Well, he earned his right to sail right through by winning all of his matches. He is the deserving 2022 Bullet Chess champion, so we commend him on that. And actually, I believe we still have some work to do, because we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll show you the DigitalOcean match of the day. I'm guessing you won't be surprised by which match it was, but maybe we'll throw you a curveball. So we'll be right back to summarize the day that was, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Todd.
Deborah says you're working on a fancy app or something.
Hold on. Not really working on it yet. I just don't know which cloud service to go with.
Well, I've got a cousin on my Queens side that swears by DigitalOcean. Says they're easy to use, have straightforward pricing, and really focus on making developers happy.
DigitalOcean, huh? I'm gonna check them out.
What the hell? Dude, how are you doing that? I'm not.
was the final match of the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. So we have no choice because our DigitalOcean match of the day is the one between Hikaru Nakamura and Andrew Tang. And Aman, we had some really topsy-turvy games. So why don't you take the wheel from me here and show the first critical moment that we have in store?
Yeah, I mean, you guys just witnessed it. I mean, an insane match. And as we started off, it was actually Hikaru getting off to a decent start. But right when he did that, Tang started to kick it into gear in this game right here, right when he needed to, because you don't want Hikaru getting off to a good start in a match like this. What looks like completely even, Robert, like pawns on the same side, 4 against 4. It all comes down to this knight here. And just the coordination, you'll notice the knight's kind of running out of squares. Knight d6, pretty much the only square left on the board to go to. But with f5 covered, Tang continues the assault. You notice all these knight squares are covered. Knight e8 drops even the rook with knight d7. So there's so many things to watch out for. Rook d8 played to guard the knight. And here's where the tactics kick off, Robert.
That's right, because if white had started with rook b4 to d4, then black has the, in that position after rook d1, rook d8. If you bring the rook to d4 to double, you think you're pinning and winning, but the knight goes back to b7 to guard that rook. So it was important for Tang to throw in the move knight c6 first to attack the rook directly. And now it's under threat. If the rook leaves the d file, the knight would have been hanging. So now e5 takes advantage of that pin piece. But Aman, it wasn't over just yet.
Yeah, my brain stopped calculating here. Like, hey, I want a piece. Great. Hikaru's going down. Knight to e4. I'm just going to put that on the board and let you look at it for a couple seconds because that is a shocking move. Rook takes d7. Well, hello, rook. Check on a1. And you can give away a few rooks, but guess what? You're getting mated here, Robert, out of nowhere. If you take this knight, you're losing that rook. So what the heck did Andrew do?
Yeah, it looks like it's a problem for white. He just calmly slides that rook over to the B file because it's not just the white king that has problems. That black king is suffering from a lack of luft, and rook b8 check will not just be check, but checkmate. The knight can't move if you want to avoid checkmate. That's a free piece for white, and thus Andrew won this game.
Yeah, that was like just a crazy tactical sequence. I think it set the stage for the type of match that we were going to see. Beautiful from both sides, honestly, but delivering the final blow was Andrew Tang, and that sort of set the stage early on. A nice move by him. And I fast forward a little bit to a game where Hikaru started to kick it into gear. Robert, he plays knight h4, and they've been playing this opening back and forth, the entire match. So this was very explored territory. But for me, it was after the move a4. I mean, Andrew saw the pawns coming down the queen side. He decided to make this move e4 because he saw the pressure down the queen side. He said, well, I got to get something going in the center or I'm just going to get steamrolled.
Yeah, and it actually helped the dark squared bishop, and I should say dark squared bishops, because the bishop on b8 is happy to stare at the knight on g3, but that bishop on b2 is even happier. So after the move knight f5, and it's important which knight was moved. He moved the knight from the rim of the board to f5 because of the tactic that he found. Black should have taken on f5. Sure, that was the case, but instead of taking queen e6 was played, and here Hikaru uncorked a brilliant tactic.
Yeah, it's reasonable to think, okay, I'm going to keep my bishop here. No need to give it up. The knights are just kind of bouncing into each other. But knight takes g7, double exclamation mark, attacking the queen. If you move the queen, well, you have to keep defending the knight. Pretty much only one square to keep doing that. And white could just return the knight to f5, take everything under the sun. Disaster. And if king takes, well, hello to knight h5 using the long range bishop as well as the pin in this position, Robert. So in fact, he probably saw both of those things and said, oh, I'm going to get rid of this knight on g3. But lo and behold, he simply forgot his queen on e6 was hanging.
Yeah, knight takes e6, forced resignation. And that was an important win for Hikaru because Andrew showed he was capable of a comeback.
Yeah. And I think that takes us to, honestly, what might be the turning point of the match that really sent it in Hikaru's favor. For me, Robert, was this game right here. The good people of Twitch remember this was right before the break. The players are getting ready to wrap up. Yeah, Hikaru was enjoying a nice lead already, and this looked like the game where Tang was going to cut that lead down to just 2 points. But instead, Robert, Hikaru had other things in mind.
I mean, look at this position, right? The queen's under attack. The queen has to move out the way. The a7 pawn is happily about to promote. And in order to promote, you needed to what Tang did, and he took this pawn on c3. So after the queen dropped away, he took on c3, hoping for rook takes c3. And honestly, there's nothing really that black can do, right, Aman? You have to allow white to promote.
Yeah, if you try to keep the rook on a8, first of all, that's already controlled by white. He can win the material back, and that pawn is going to make it there eventually. So Hikaru said, okay, you know what? I'd rather get a rook for my trouble. You can have your queen. I'll bring the rook back. And after queen b7, kind of looks like, okay, just two queens on the board. I mean, how often does that happen in your chess games? You have two queens on the board, and 26 seconds apiece was not even a time deficit. Hikaru plays the move queen d6, and I just don't think Andrew saw anything coming here.
No, it's an innocuous looking move, just getting the queen off the back rank, connecting the rooks. But what it does is take away the h2 square from the king. And you may say, who cares? You can't checkmate me. And that's what Andrew went forward, trying to checkmate black with queen to a7, losing sight that even though c1 is covered, the bishop has to capture on c1, and the second rook does the fatal blow.
And what a knockout blow that is. It wasn't just the checkmate, it wasn't just how brilliant it was, but it was the timing of everything. Right before the break, it was a 3-game lead at this point. So instead of, shrinking down to 2 with Tang's momentum going into the halftime break, it was actually the opposite. It ballooned to a 4-point lead. And we heard Hikaru in the winner's interview just there. He sort of felt like once he had that lead, he was really comfortable. And honestly, Robert, this game right here, I look back on as a huge moment in the match. Tang obviously gutted to have missed this, but Hikaru, brilliant to set that up the entire way. What a gorgeous tactic to basically win the match.
Yes, and I mean, it was a really brilliant shot. It came out of nowhere, but it allowed Hikaru Nakamura to win the Bullet Chess Championship, and this was your DigitalOcean match of the day. So Hikaru Nakamura, as you see on the bracket, he did not lose a single match, Aman, and most of them were not close until he met Andrew Tang.
Yeah, Andrew was the guy that had 2 premium chances to beat him. Naroditsky came close in the first half of the match, but in the end, Hikaru got that lead to an insurmountable number. And what an amazing Bullet Chess Championship. We saw the best players in the world going at it, and Hikaru not even losing a match. Tang, 2 amazing tries, but no one can crack the code that is Hikaru Nakamura when it comes to bullet chess.
Yeah, it's true. He is just the final boss, as we say, and somebody is going to have to take him down, but not this year. And I do want to extend my condolences once more to Min. We can't forget about that opening match where he had Danya defeated. It was the final game. It was the tiebreaker. No time remaining on the match clock. And he was up 2 pawns, Aman. And then, unfortunately for him, all fell apart.
It did. That was truly heartbreaking because he played that match. He I don't want to say he deserved to win it over Danya because there's only one deserving winner in the end. It's bullet chess, but he definitely had his stake of the deservingness because it was absolutely heart-wrenching to watch him lose a position by forced checkmate and Danya's jaw dropped to the floor as he saw on the board forced mate from a dead loss position. So incredible how the tables turn in bullet chess, Robert, but that's just part of the game. 30 flags, pre-moves, checkmates out of nowhere. I think that's why we watch and love to commentate Bullet Chess Championship.
It certainly is. And if there's one player who stands out as being the most precise, it is Hikaru Nakamura. So again, congratulations to him. He is our 2022 Bullet Chess champion, and he'll be back this weekend. The Bullet Chess Championship may have come to a close, but the Rapid Chess Championship happens every Saturday and Sunday, except when big events stand in the way. The candidates at some point will stop from happening. But Hikaru also has to fly out to Europe to play in the 3rd leg of the FIDE Grand Prix.
I mean, talk about a busy schedule. The guy's delivering regular streams, bullet, rapid championships, as well as his Grand Prix appearances. So there you go. That's your Bullet Chess Championship winner, and lots of fun stuff coming on chess.com in terms of events, Robert.
Certainly. So, Aman, any final thoughts as we wrap this thing up?
I love commentating bullet chess. I have to say, it really is a guilty pleasure of mine watching bullet, prefer it to playing it so that my bad moves aren't out there for the world to see. But it is always a pleasure to watch the best players in the world play the fastest chess in the world. And to be alongside you, buddy, it's always a treat.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. And I feel the same way. And I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in day after day, making this Bullet Chess Championship even more special. Thanks again to DigitalOcean for sponsoring this event. It is not possible without their support. And of course, our producer, Matt, for helping us through this day after day, and the players. We can't watch chess without their excellent performances. We really do appreciate them, and we don't take them for granted. But Aman, I guess it's that time for us to head on out and watch college basketball because it is March Madness. So let's go. See you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. This was the Bullet Chess Championship presented by DigitalOcean. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
So Aman, the book I was telling you about, chess.
Yeah, what was it called again?
Wait, did our producer just put us back on? Oh, okay. So
Well,
this
now,
book,
Robert, it's just, you can't just tell me the secret. Now you got to share with the class.
all right. Well, Chess Queens by Jennifer Shahadi, great book. She sent it my way. Good friend of mine. Appreciate it. I was just trying to tell Aman what I was reading before I went to watch college basketball. So Chess Queens by Jennifer Shahadi, check it out. You will not want to overlook this book. It is fantastic chess history. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you all. Now I really got to go. Bye-bye.